this country.
Meantime, Vice President Vance just denying any government pressure to suspend Kimmel, calling the FCC chair's recent comments on social media a joke. America is listening to Fox News.
September is National Preparedness Month, so it's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you ever get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for a week? If you're anything like me, there's always some room for improvement on this stuff, and luckily, the great people at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit and includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, a solar backup generator, and a lot more. And here's the best part. If you go to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. So head to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn for full details. That's mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn.
Look out. Literally, duck. They're killing us. Anyway, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at your controls. It's Flounder. It's Hump Day.
The day I was born.
And the Braves, man. Oh, man. Right down to the last second of the last ninth inning. All right, hold on. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And man alive, here we go. Let me give you the number. I hope to hear from people about, it's too late now. They've declared war. They're actually killing us. They're arming themselves and killing us. We'll get to it all. Our number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And we obviously will talk about this story with the Dallas ICE facility attack sniper. And by the way, for the record, we'll talk about it anyway. First of all, the terrorists win if we don't do our show. Pete Davis, last 24 hours, Mountains of Macon. I see your background is some kind of like a cartoon factory or something back there, it looks like.
It's a secret robotic lab lair is what I've got going. I'm building robots to fight back.
It looked like, we're going to need them. I mean, can you believe it? I mean, this is God, anyway.
Well, you had the governor of California on national TV last night that said you have to push back and resist these ICE agents because they're authoritarian regime.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do some blaming. I mean, every freaking Democrat who says ICE is a Nazi and they keep saying they're disappearing people like the Nazis did. They're just showing up in masks and disappearing people who never are heard from again, as though that's what they're doing. But I mean, and they keep saying it and saying it. Every Democrat mayor, including ours, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, San Francisco. We'll name them all. Name them all. Every single Democrat mayor and governor like Newsom and everybody, and in Illinois and Pritzker, the big fat load in Pritzker, defy. Okay. We need riots. They were calling for violence. They were saying we got to go to the streets. Remember that? A long way from we're coming for you, Kavanaugh, by the suspected child molester freaking Schumer. Oh. I mean, now they're saying we need violence in the streets. Well, you're getting it, and we're the ones getting killed for it. So I mean, I'm telling you, they're asking for it, and they're about to get it. God almighty. Yes, sir. You were saying.
Well, that's what he said. Schumer said, you've sowed the wind, now you shall reap the whirlwind, talking about the Supreme Court. They had no problem with gangs showing up outside the Supreme Court's houses at night and terrifying them. Yeah. They have no problem going after the secretaries of defense or secretary of Homeland Security and going after their families.
She had to move.
It's a shooting war with only one side shooting.
Right. The side of violence, the party of violence, is the Democrats. Burned down the country for 2 years over their hero George Floyd, and here we are. And the media, all the MSNBC and CNN and all the rest of them, and all those the liberals, they're to blame. All those Democrats who basically like Lucy McNasty. I'm sorry, I said nasty. It's Nasty McBath. I'm sorry, Lucy McNasty McBath. And Hank Johnson, among others, from Georgia, who, said basically the other night said Charlie Kirk deserved what he got. You know, that's what with their comments and their votes and everything else. They were saying Charlie Kirk got what he got what he deserved. They shot Donald Trump once. They tried to kill him twice. They killed the CEO guy, which was another liberal. They got Charlie Kirk. They got these two people at the. And by the way, how ironic is it that the scumbag sniper was an ICE agent hater, so he took out his hate against ICE by shooting the people that the Democrats are trying to protect. He didn't shoot ICE agents. He shot two people in the ICE truck who were apparently illegal immigrants. As I understand it, the people he shot were not ICE agents, but he shot at the ICE. He just shot the facility. And by horrible chance, he murdered the people that the Democrats were trying to protect and hide. So, you know, you freaking idiots. I mean, my God, it's just the devil is alive. I mean, there's no other possible explanation. Okay.
Pure evil.
It is just evil. And it takes again, I was talking to Pete off the air before the show. In the military, if you're, a Marine Force recon sniper or a Navy SEAL or something like that, and you're a sniper, that's one thing. You're a military trained killer. But if you're a civilian who's just gets yourself so worked up over a political dispute in this country that you're willing to just shoot anybody you see, I mean, that takes a special kind of demented, dark.
Well, they've been getting away. The Democrats have been getting away with violence for 20 years now. The criminals have been getting away with violence. They're right back on the. They kill somebody, they're right back on the street.
No cash bonds.
They keep pushing the envelope because you're getting away with it. That's why they keep pushing.
George Soros gets those liberal DAs, and this is what you get. They keep freeing the people. No cash bond. I mean, it's just what do you expect? Anyway, Flounder, I didn't mean to leave you out here, sir. You and Mrs. Flounder, the lovely Veronica, in the last 24 hours, I got kind of distracted here. Everything all right?
All is well.
Yeah? Okay.
A lot to talk about today. So.
No, we'll get all to it. Just out of curiosity, when I was leaving yesterday, we mentioned we had, Mr. Dickey had some kind of a group of people in here late in the day, and he was giving them...
So it was a group from the University of Florida where David Dickey graduated.
Aha!
And so they're all majoring in broadcasting, radio kind of stuff. So I guess they came here and they went to the game last night, but it was neat to be able to talk to him for a few minutes.
Yeah. And in fact, as I was going out, I mentioned we were saying, anything, if you wanted this business, the business now is all different. Everything's changed. But there's always been the key that if you want to get into this business or any business, anytime you get an opportunity, take it. Whether it's, doing, the dirty work, the lowest thing, anything to get in the door, show you have a great attitude, show you like what you do, show you want to do more and stuff like that, and you'll get ahead. And that was my message to him last night as I left. I didn't want to interrupt anything, but I was walking out and they were there. So anyway, okay, so we got that going for us. All right, so we'll talk about this freaking shooting business here. Also, the Jimmy Kimmel, what a bunch of crap. I mean, what a total bunch of crap. And two things. I am not going to play any Jimmy Kimmel bites. If you guys want to and you find one, okay, but I'm not in charge. Jimmy Kimmel to me is just a scumbag. And I was going half jokingly saying as I was going to making a head call here, but Flounder and Mike, the crackhead engineer, the crack head engineer, as I was going out, and I was saying if I saw Jimmy Kimmel, I would make him try to hit me. I've got a couple of ways where I can make somebody fight me and disable them at the same time. But I mean, just that's how much I despise this slime bag. And last night, for him to say he had no intention to try to blame one side or the other for that's exactly what his intention was. My God, how can he look in the mirror without the freaking devil smiling back at him?
Well, he has to double and triple down because think about this. He's already lost the right years ago. He's now pretty much lost most of the middle who've got any sense to him. All he's got left is not only the left, but pretty much the far left that's watching because his numbers are dwindling and have been for quite a while now. Yeah. So if he wants to keep any kind of career, he's got to keep sucking up to this far left crowd.
I know. But anyway, we'll talk about that. But again, I'm trying to, the thing, I want to make 2 points. As far as my personal thing is concerned, I'm not going to play Jimmy Kimmel sound bites unless he comes up with something in the next couple hours around the air that's so outrageous or so important that we need to play it, obviously. But him, his sniveling little slimy stuff, and I'll do a couple of quotes of him and stuff like that, but you're not going to hear his voice on my show. And you're also not going to hear the voice of Carmela's side piece. Man, excuse me. When I got home last night and put on Fox News and for a couple hours of coverage of her, and they had all her interview, what a despicable human being. I mean, despicable human being. And I got a couple of quotes about what she said and some reaction to it as she makes her stupid book tour, 107 Days of Being a Despicable Side Piece Who Almost Became Your President by Carmela. I mean, it's just a snotty, slimy blamer of everybody but herself. I was cooing to my husband. I said, oh, what are they doing? They're hurting the party. Oh, no, what's America? She actually was saying things, I couldn't believe what's America going to do now when she heard she wasn't going to win. What is America going to do now? Carmela's side piece saying, oh, no, I'm so afraid for my country. What is my country going to do?
Forget about you.
God, the very idea of them still walking around speaking is just abhorrent. Okay, I'm glad that's over. And now I shall begin with a funny story about how much of an idiot the Kimmer is. And then we shall begin on with this program. Plus, we have Flounders Funnies and Pete's Tweets and a billion stories. I mean, really, because some really, really weird stories, including Scott Bessent, my favorite gay politician. That's right. Everybody loves this guy. And by the way, it goes once again to prove nobody cares he's gay. Nobody even really knows he's gay. Treasury Secretary. I mean, which is important to know that it doesn't make any difference, which is why he's going to prove that the people who think it does make a difference are out of their freaking minds. Okay. Now, as you know, my car's gone. I'll talk about that later because it got hit, and so they're taking my Schottenkirk come to get it, and they're going to fix it. Anyway, but the other thing going on right now is my HVAC, my air conditioning is gone, and I had my guy that I've used for a couple of years come out, and he put some Freon in, so for a couple of days it's been good, but I need to get some estimates to fix the thing. So one of the estimates I got today was from Tug's client, Central Heating and Air, and Mike came out, and so when they checked it, there's a condenser outside by the garage, and then up in the attic is the furnace unit and air conditioning unit up there, has the fan going, stuff like that. Okay, I live in a townhouse. So it has 3 stories, and each floor has a little thermostat thing on the wall. The main one is the main floor, the second floor, the middle floor, where the main one. Okay, so this morning, 5:30, 5:42, 5:30, whatever, I'm coming down, and I had the switch off because I didn't want to waste electricity to save Freon that was left in there, knowing the guy was coming over like 7 o'clock this morning. He showed up early because I asked him. Anyway, so I come downstairs, and I go to the thermostat switch on the wall, and I push the on button. And then I make my coffee and I go about my business and do a thing. And a couple hours later, it's like 5:30. A couple hours later, Mike shows up and he looks at the thing outside. Says, yeah, that's leaking. That's no good. And then he goes up in the attic and he comes back down and he says, your furnace is on. And I said, what? He said, yeah, your furnace is on. So I said, how the hell did that happen? He said, well, now the upstairs thermostat was on cool and auto. The downstairs opening entry floor was on cool and auto. But when I came downstairs to the middle floor and hit the on button, what happened was it didn't go to cool to go back onto cool. It went to the next setting, which was heat. And so sure enough, because it was in the dark, and I put this on Facebook to prove to you that it wasn't just, I wasn't being a total idiot. I put it on Facebook and YouTube to show you, when you hit the button, you can't see, the numbers are so small, you can't see what the setting was. And when I hit the on button, it went to heat. And so, the heat thing, he said, so he must think I'm the biggest idiot in the world that I've had the thermostat on heat when I'm complaining about having no air conditioning. So anyway, I promise you, everything else was all set, and we did fix it, but I felt like such a boob, and I texted him and I said, you have my total permission to make a fool of me and mock me unmercifully at Central Heating and Air that I had it on had the furnace on with the one anyway, whatever. So I'll get to the bottom of this. All right, Kimmer Pete Flout, 3:45 already.
More on this old house.
I know, what an idiot. I mean, I just hit it, and then you can see. Look at the video on Facebook. You can see that I have good reason. It didn't show up anyway. I'm an idiot. And you know what? I'm having a bad string going on here. That's all. It's going to be fine.
Vacation's coming.
Vacation's coming, baby. In fact, I talked to my daughter Sarah a little while ago.
So are hurricanes.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. All right, look out. Kimmer Pete Flout, 3:15. Here we go. Stand by.
If you love 106.3, then you'll love the all-new XTRA 106.3 app. It's loaded with replays of your favorite shows like The Morning Extra and The Kimmer Show, podcasts from conservative voices across the South, and access to Extra's crystal clear live stream from anywhere in Georgia. Grab it now for Apple or Android.
Well, they took my car to the shop today, and I keep hoping there's. I'm not really true, but I kind of thought about having be able to use David Van Sant for my policy fighting. But so far, everything's gone fine about the guy who hit me in my car. But man, if you have an accident, then there's an issue, and insurance companies are sticklers, and they ought to be. It's a business, and they don't want to pay more than they have to. But they have these little charts and stuff. And David Van Sant used to do that kind of stuff for a living with them. And no. David Van Sant is a hotshot lawyer, and I can say that because he's a super lawyer. It's actually a list of super lawyers. He's on it. That's not a big list. And the top 100 trial lawyers, he's on that too. David Van Sant. And again, so far so good with my claim. The guy hit me from behind. It's his fault. He knew it. Cop gave him a thing. And so, everything's going fine. They got my car. It's going to be fixed. But if they're saying, well, no, he said, there's so-and-so. No, I'm not going to argue with him. I'll have David do it. And by the way, he's a personal injury lawyer. It's not just car wrecks. If you've been, screwed out of something and you're due something or other, he's the guy to call. David Van Sant. In fact, here's that number, 855-GA-INJURY. Online, vansantlaw.com.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Ventrac. When it comes to tackling every job on your property, you need a true all-star, Ventrac. This machine runs the full playbook with over 30 game-changing attachments. That includes mowing, leaf cleanup, trenching, edging, brush cutting, and so many more. No matter the season, no matter the challenge, Ventrac is ready to win. Find these incredible machines at Howard Brothers or head to howardbrothers.com and reach out to their experienced Ventrac team today. Howard Brothers, serving you since 1955.
You've worked hard to save, and many even have a financial advisor. But is your portfolio as efficient as it can be? I'm here today with Evan Ward of Atlas Retirement, where our listeners can get a second opinion on their retirement savings. So, Evan, tell folks the biggest benefits of getting that second look.
Well, it's clarity. It's confidence. And I had a client come in the other day, and she thought, and she is, exceptionally conservative financially. And that's the way she had told her financial advisor to investors. She thought she was paying very little in fees. We came into the full review of her portfolio. She was taking a great deal of risk, so much so that she, in a good market, was down like 15-20%. But then the thing that really put her over the top, the thing that she had no idea is she was paying about 4.5% a year in fees. It was an outrageous kick in the teeth to her. But the good news is there are ways to fix that problem pretty quickly and get you in line with what you actually thought you had.
Second opinions obviously are important, Evan, and as is reviewing what you have in place, right? You don't want to set it and forget it. You don't want to put a retirement plan together and just think, okay, now I'm good for the future, right?
Well, the way I view retirement and retirement plans is they're living, breathing things. Because the one thing I can promise you, I can promise me, and I can promise every single person that walks in our office is life will throw you curveballs. Things will change, and we've got to adapt with them. So if we aren't having annual reviews, and as you get closer to retirement even more so, we have to adapt and build from there.
If you'd like a second opinion when it comes to your savings and investments, call Atlas Retirement for a complimentary second opinion today. That number is 678-736-7799. That's 678-736-7799. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPsetc.com. XTRA106.3.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
There we go. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing today? Hump day. Have a Braves update for you. Had a day game today. Pete Davis, Holy Crab at Sports, also later. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. This is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. 1991, they released their 5th album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Released that in America. Had the hits, I'll never forget, Under the Bridge, Give It Away, probably my favorite. The album, produced by Rick Rubin, propelled the Red Hot Chili Peppers into worldwide popularity and critical acclaim. Well, you can hear the sound now. Well, the critics were all just screaming over it there. Uncomfortable with fame, John Frusciante quit the band during the 1992 tour. He came back 6 years later, but I guess he didn't want to be famous or rich or whatever. Anyway. All right, Kimmer, Pete, Flounder to the phones, taking priority. Martin, you're on the radio. Martin, how you doing? What do you think? Can you believe what's going on, sir?
Sometimes I can't, but Kim,
yeah.
I was a little worried when I heard about the problem with pushing the wrong button on the thermostat.
Well, it was hard to find.
Yeah, that's the point. So I'm going to propose a really sound bit of advice.
All right, sir.
Next date you have, don't turn the lights off.
Next date, yeah. That's funny.
That may be a while away, but
I haven't had a date in 23 years.
All right, so listen. You remember we're back to more shootings and all this sort of stuff, okay?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
These idiots, they certainly want some kind of claim to fame. They want that social status or, on the social sites, okay?
Yeah.
First thing, the media does not need to be announcing their name.
I'll never say it.
Need to be,
right.
You don't need to have all the Facebook or whoever it is, exposure. You need to shut that down as fast as possible. And the other thing, as I've said repeatedly to you, it's the judges. You know, the cops, when they show up to a committed crime, they show up after.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I don't support the police. I do. But the fact of the matter is...
Well, they can't prevent crime. Cops' job is not to say no one will ever do anything bad. I mean, my God. Please, we understand. Yeah, please. Yeah.
The closest person that can prevent crime is the judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they keep letting them out, they're going to keep committing the crime.
Yeah, we need Judge Roy Beans out there, I mean, seriously, it's just this outrageous. And it's all the, and the problem that kills me, Martin, is I think they honestly believe in themselves. They're trying to do the right thing, to give people another chance, to say we're not, this country is for forgiveness and have to try to get all the, alternatives. And bull crap. Good Lord. What's it going to take? Anyway.
Look at how that doing the right thing is working for Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, thanks, man. I appreciate, Martin, every time you call. It's unbelievable what's going on. We'll get to it all. I promise you it's all coming up. 404-741-1230. Here's a birthday. I don't have a lot of birthdays today. I got one. This one you may know. Jessica Lucas is 40. Jessica, if you watch the show The Resident, Jessica Lucas is a rather attractive lady who's 40 years old, plays Billy Sutton on The Resident, Tabitha on Gotham, and Riley Richmond on the Melrose Place reboot. So I don't know, too, though. Jessica Lucas is 40 years old today. And on this day, on this day in history, it was 1952. The first Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise opens with a recipe of 11 herbs and spices created by Colonel Sanders. Wasn't really a colonel. By 1963, there were 600 KFC restaurants, making it the largest fast food chain in America. At the time, at least, in 1930, Sanders began selling fried chicken and other food from a gas station. In 1939, he was dissatisfied with the 35 minutes it took to fry a chicken in an iron frying pan. Since he believed deep frying lowered the quality, Colonel Sanders came up with the idea of deep frying the chicken in a pressure cooker, a new invention of the day in 1939. This could cook chicken as fast a deep fryer, yet he felt it retained the quality of pan frying. The following year, the Colonel finalized his original recipe of 11 herbs and spices. I remember
still the best.
What's that?
It's still the best chicken outside of Chick-fil-A.
It is, yeah. I mean, I love the Chick-fil-A. I do love the Chick-fil-A patty on the bun. I don't like they put a pickle on it, it's coming off, stuff like that. But Colonel Sanders really has the best. If you want a bucket of chicken, you can't go wrong with Colonel Sanders' original recipe fried chicken. To me. So, and I used to go and take my bull mastiff in the back of the car and go through that. They give him a little chicken thing, Just love the drive-throughs.
Got Steve on the horn. He's an electrician. Wanted to talk to you about your HVAC
issues. Hey, Steve, how's it going? I swear to God, I had the thing off. It was in the dark. You can't see it. Look at that video. You can see what I'm talking about. And I hit the button, and I thought it was all set. Go back on cool, and the next setting was heat. So anyway, Anyway, welcome, Steve.
You might remember about 8 years ago, you called me out because your cable was out, and I reset a GFI in your garage on a Saturday.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know about that little switch in the wall of the garage. It's a what do you call it? Like a fuse box switch. And if there's something happens and it pops out, it has a little red light on it. And I didn't know about that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, mercy.
That was a while back.
Well, anyway, how you doing, man? What's going on? What are you doing for a living? What's up? Are you still working on fixing people's switches?
I'm still an electric commission. Still been an electrician out here doing it.
Outstanding.
Hadn't seen you in a while. Jimmy passed.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen you since we went out to help one time.
Outstanding. Well, listen, thank you. That was a big help. And thanks for the memories, and thanks for calling, Steve. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, my friend. It's fine. This is crazy business. Once in a while, in fact, I've heard, like on Facebook, from people I haven't talked to in 20 years. And it's just, always fun and refreshing. Anyway, thank you. Okay, here we go. All right, 328, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. All right, let's do this first, and then we'll go right into the shooting thing again, and Jimmy Kimmel and all that crap. Honestly, almost, in fact, I was going to bring in my clothes today, Flounder, for you to try on, see if you want some of my sport jackets and those tuxes and stuff. I'm good. But I can't,
Did you wash them first?
Oh, well, no, they haven't been used. They've never been worn. Why would they need to be dry cleaned? Anyway, well, you don't, so you have no interest, so I won't do it. I was going to bring them in Friday, but screw it. I don't care if you don't care.
I guess I'll check a couple out.
All right, well, I'll if I remember. Anyway, that's good, but we're not in the mood. They're killing us. They're killing us. All right, first, in case you didn't hear this, and I was flabbergasted when I heard her age, although we talked about it the other day. Claudia Cardinale, or Claudia Cardinale, I've heard it pronounced both ways. In fact, the last time she died, at the age of 87. Screen star mostly for European films, but from American films, which talk about it. In fact, the other night on DVR on my TV box thing, I have the other day I got the Return of the Pink Panther, and then a couple nights ago they had the original The Pink Panther with Peter Sellers and Shot in the Dark, which actually is one of my other favorite movies of all time. So I've got them all. I've got all the three original things. And Claudia Cardinale, when the announcer for the Turner Classic Movies was introducing this the series of what they're playing, and he called her Claudia Cardinale. Now, I've always heard Claudia Cardinale. I'm just saying I've heard both ways. Anyway, she passed away at 87. Her family was there with her. She was in The Pink Panther in 1963. She was also in foreign movies one called The Leopard, which is by Luchino Visconti. A major influence on The Godfather and Federico Fellini classic 8.5. She worked with Burt Lancaster, Sean Connery, John Wayne, Henry Fonda, Marcello Mastroianni. very famous. She was French-Tunisian, born to a Sicilian family in French Tunisia. Spoke no Italian, but she won a contest to be named Most Beautiful Italian in Tunis. And she went to the Venice Film Festival, and in her bikini with a producer saw her with the press afterwards, and she became a star. She didn't want to. She by the way, Claudia Cardinale was raped when she was 19 by a Frenchman, got pregnant, kept her baby, and then signed up with an Italian producer to get into showbiz to support her kid. She said, I got into showbiz. I took they tried to get her to go into movies at 19. She said no. And then finally the guy raped her. She had a baby. She said, okay, I'll do the movies now. I got to support myself. And that's Claudia Cardinale. God bless her. 87 years old. She passed away with her family there. All right, 3:31. The sniper, they're killing us. You freaking Democrats not cooperating with the media, mainstream cable, CNN, MSNBC. Shame on you, all you Democrat mayors and conservative-hating people, politicians. We're going to call you out, and it's not over in a long shot. Plus the Jimmy Kimmel business, that dirty, rotten fake. We got it all, my friends. 3:31. It's Hump Day. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3, the Farm of Atlanta. Look out.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Extra 106.3 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 106.3.
Well, we got your Peach State windows, and Jeff and his lovely bride, and 25 years ago when I worked for him, I don't even know where to start. The Peach State windows, and by the way, your house is important to you and the outside, what it looks like, and that's why there are deals on windows. The more windows you need, the more you're going to save. I mean, they know, these are big time Charlie stuff. The vinyl double hung and the special, whatever the look you need, and energy efficient, all that stuff. But again, also, if you have a little siding issue, they got specials in that all the time. They can fix things on your roof for the doors jammed and everything else too. Tell them the Kiver sent you. Check it out. And a free safety check for your deck, too. PeachStateWindows.com.
Summer is here, and it's time to enjoy your outdoor oasis as a family. Don't know where to begin? At Stovall & Company, we have everything you need to make your landscaping dreams come true. From premium mulch and topsoil to a wide variety of plants, trees, shrubs, and annuals, Stovall has it all. Check us out at StovallInc.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's, and running a business is tough. Juggling clients, employees, cash flow. Why worry about IT? iTech Atlanta can keep your systems running securely and smoothly so that you can focus on your business. Minimize downtime and protect against cyber threats, all at a predictable, fixed, low monthly cost. For 25 years, iTech Atlanta has been helping businesses just like yours. They would love to manage your IT on time and under budget. Learn more. Visit iTechAtlanta.com. We manage your IT so you can manage your business. Hey, it's Lowe's. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I've learned a lot about this car buying process from you. Is that typical of most of the clients you've worked with?
Yeah, I'm finding out it's even more typical. I mean, people are learning more and more, and maybe it's because I overload them with information because I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to make sure you know everything.
Do I have to have a particular make and model in mind when I call you, or is it just open to anything I want?
It's open. I can get any make, any year, any model.
I might be looking to trade in my vehicle. Can you accommodate that as the honest car guy?
For sure. I mean, we love it when people want to trade in cars because, honestly, it's best for you to trade in a car. Why? Because you get a tax savings.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the honest car guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
September is National Preparedness Month, so it's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for an emergency? How would you get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for a week? If you don't have good answers to those questions, that's okay, because right now, My Patriot Supply, the most trusted name in emergency preparedness, is making it simpler and more affordable than ever before. In honor of National Preparedness Month, we put together a comprehensive, all all-in-one kit that covers the emergency food, water filtration, heat, and backup power. Imagine the peace of mind you'll feel knowing all your bases are covered. And when you go to mypatriotsupply.com during September, not only will you find huge discounts on all of our preparedness essentials, you can even score over $1,500 worth of survival gear free when you stock up on a 1-year food supply. Head to mypatriotsupply.com for details. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
The older I get, the more I think about trust. I think about the people in my life who have my trust and earned my trust, and the trust that I have placed in some people who I later learned abused that trust. I know we're alike in that way. We don't trust a lot of people anymore. It's like we're all Ronald Reagan, trust but always verify to make sure we're not making a mistake. I find it a little exhausting, quite honestly, and that's why I started realestateagentsitrust.com. I didn't have good experiences with buying and selling my homes, so we built Real Estate Agents I Trust to introduce you to one of the thousands of agents all over the country that we work with, that we have verified that they will help you have the most successful and good real estate transaction possible. Our network agents share our sensibilities, have great track records, are good and decent people, and I trust them to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, visit realestateagentsitrust.com. The name says it all, realestateagentsitrust.com.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
The Democrat media will manipulate the way they deliver you your daily dose of news in a way that hides some of the truth they don't necessarily want to spread.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Wow, what? Oh, I didn't hear the first time there. We're just saying there. In 1990, AC/DC released The Razor's Edge, their 11th internationally released album. 1990, the only studio album to feature drummer Chris Slade, reached number 2 in America, number 4 in Britain. So what, did he get fired after that or something, or what, I wonder? I don't know. I don't know anything about AC/DC. Much to my chagrin. I should have figured out more. Anyway, on a little history thing for you. 1964, it was the Munsters moving into the neighborhood. Ironically, in 1964, both Monsters sitcoms, The Addams Family and The Munsters, both debuted in the fall of 1964. That was as TV shows were beginning to turn to color, but both of these were shown in black and white. The Addams Family was modeled after the Charles Addams comics found in the New Yorker. And by the way, they were pretty sick, as I recall.
They were really off the wall. That's good stuff.
In fact, I don't even know if they still do. They used to sell New Yorker cartoons just as a book of cartoons. You could be a coffee table book. In fact, I think I got, did I give you one?
I've got one. It's this thick. No, I bought one. It's this thick. And a CD came with it with 70,000 cartoons on the CD.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Anyways, wow, holy cow! I saw it with a New Yorker. Now, that was the Addams Family, Charles Addams comics in New Yorker. The Munsters were a mix of Universal's monsters and traditional family values, it says here. The show was produced by the same people who created Leave It to Beaver. The show starred Fred Gwynn as Father Herman, Yvonne DiCarlo as the mom Lily, Al Lewis as Grandpa, Butch Patrick as son Eddie, and Pat Priest as that naughty niece Marilyn. Also later Beverly Owen played that part later. The Munsters ran 2 years only, but the show fan base grew through syndication. In 1980, this was 64. 1987, there was a new version of the show, The Munsters Today, filmed at Universal, never measured up though. And they tried one more time in 2012 with Mockingbird Lane, a spooky, mean-spirited version as a Halloween special, but they never picked. Nobody ever cared about it. All right, Kimmer P. Flounder, 339, 404-741-1230. They're killing us again. The Democrats are killing us again. And by the way, did you hear the initial reports by the mainstream media was that apparently they believe that it's a conservative shooter killer who was trying to shoot The illegal immigrants.
Migrants. Yeah, that was the first story that came out.
The first story.
For hours, that it was a guy shooting at the illegals.
Yeah. Was trying to kill the immigrants as a Republican to kill those dirty immigrants who sneaked in here. And I talk about the horrible, tragic irony. The killer was a madman, Democrat, liberal, obviously, who brought all the information by you liberal Democrats that the ICE agents are Nazis and stealing people off the street and disappearing them. And so he took out what you wanted to happen is to start killing people. And ironically, he didn't kill any ICE agents. The only people he killed and wounded were immigrants who were being detained. So he murdered the very people that the liberals are trying to save and protect and hide. Remember, they're trying to hide them over and over and over. They say, well, these ICE agents, they're Gestapo agents. They're disappearing innocent people. Don't cooperate. Hide them. Remember all the times that they've showed you where ICE agents were going to be. They doxed them. They showed you on social media where the trucks are to avoid them. Hell, how about that judge who hid the guy in her courtroom, for God's sakes? They're going out of their way to do everything they can. The Democrats are saying it's wrong, and not one is coming out to say, oh, by the way, I can't wait for the first one to come out and say, well, the violence is wrong on both sides. Yeah, please. It's your side that's doing all this damage. This is just disgusting.
Last night, California Governor Gavin Newsom was on the Colbert Show and basically said, they're going to have to push back against these ICE agents because they're part of an authoritarian regime. 3 days ago, after you passing that law, if you're a cop, you couldn't wear any head covering or anything covering your face in California. Yeah. He literally said, what are you ICE agents afraid of?
Yeah. Well, this is what they're afraid of. Because you're killing people. The liberal Democrats, spurned on by the media and the politicians, it's just despicable. The attack, a couple of reactions. We're going to hear from Ted Cruz here in a second. Flounder, if you will. We're going to play, cut number 4 here in just a moment. The gunman opened fire at the immigration office in Dallas from a nearby building as a sniper on a rooftop, and then he killed himself. Gee, where have we heard that before? Sniper on the top of a building. And again, this is not like, unless he was trained in the military, I don't know. But this was a civilian. If you're in the military and you're a trained sniper in the military, that's one thing. You're a killer. You're trained to be a killer, and you deal with it. And frankly, when you're in a situation like that in war, you tend to have to really kind of, Flounder, hell, your old man knows this, you kind of tend to put things aside. You know very well that things are going to be different for a while, and you just suck it up and live with it, and then you suffer the consequences later. But these dirty bastards are just freaking psycho. This wasn't a military assault. He's spurned on by the freaking leftists, the Democrats, and the media. The Attorney General Ken Paxton said this is another despicable assault on law and order. Leftist political violence has to stop. Democrats fostering an environment of evil, emboldening radicals to kill, steal, and destroy, but we will never surrender. Here's Senator Ted Cruz, Flounder, cut number 4, what he had to say right off the bat when this happened this morning.
This needs to stop. Violence is wrong. Politically motivated violence is wrong. It was 2 weeks ago today that we saw a political assassination in Utah that tore the heart out of much of this country. This is the 3rd shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP. This must stop. To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop. To every politician demanding that ICE agents be doxxed and calling for people to go after their families, stop. This has very real consequences. Look, in America, we disagree. That's fine. That's the democratic process. But your political opponents are not Nazis.
Kristi Noem, Homeland Secretary. These horrendous killings have to serve as a wake-up call to the far left. Their rhetoric about ICE has consequences. And then she makes the point, comparing ICE day in and day out to the Nazi Gestapo, the secret police, and slave patrols has consequences. The men and women of ICE are fathers and mothers, sons and daughters. They get up every morning to try to make our community safer. Like everyone else, they just want to go home to their families at night. I mean, they just want to go home to their families. They didn't do anything.
And which the Democrats will say, well, that's all the illegals want. They want to go home to their families, too. Well, okay, go home to your home. Go back to your homeland because you broke into here illegally.
It's just despicable. And all those Democrats, and by the way, I'm waiting for one who I didn't even know who the leaders of the Democrat Party are. Certainly not Carmela Sidepiece and False Waltz and everything else. But some Democrat has to kind of take some kind of responsibility. But they're never going to do it. Who's the first one? Is about probably Fetterman. And they'll turn, they'll dox him and turn on him again. But some Democrat has to admit, and the media, somebody, again, there's no ombudsman, there's no spokesman for the media, there's no more commentators who have any sense to try to straighten out things when they happen in the news like this.
It's almost like they want this self-fulfilling prophecy. They're calling for an authoritarian regime. That's what they're saying. Well, this is what brings on an authoritarian regime when violence gets out of control.
Yeah. Okay, so in other words, how do we stop this? Do we put more security guards on every building anywhere near an ICE facility? Yeah, how about more troops in America? How about that? How about more people carrying guns to try to protect the citizens of this country? I mean, we don't want, we're not freaking Venezuela, having armed patrols in every downtown street, for God's sakes, like Chicago or New York and Washington D.C. My God, he's rotten.
When you let the pendulum go too far one way, it takes an overreaction to bring it back to the middle.
Well, we're in the middle of it, and again, the next phony we'll be talking about here is Jimmy Kimmel. Obviously didn't see anybody, not going to hear any of his sound bites on my show, but we'll talk about it. And again, caught in another dirty, rotten, stinking lie. And by the way, I've got a couple of different versions of how the media is covering this story, which I think are fairly interesting. That's coming up with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Also, the story of the rookie baseball player and the Chicago Cubs. And the typical nasty, freaking snotty sports reporter trying to make a thing about him and why he had to miss a game for his own mental health. And salute to a certain somebody who deserved what he did. I mean, God, you won't believe these people. 346, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. That's next. Good Lord.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort for the fall and winter. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your furnace running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. Turn to the experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert since 1947 and one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
This fall, the gridiron calls, which means you'll be road tripping to games across the South, and you'll need a reliable ride to get you there. And Subaru of Gwinnett has the vehicle for you. But a new car, truck, or SUV from Subaru of Gwinnett is about way more than just getting to the games. It's about getting the family home. It's about getting to work safely, but it's also about getting the most out of every adventure. If you're driven by an adventurous heart, the 2025 Subaru Outback shares your spirit with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Or maybe it's the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. It holds the road with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, and it holds everything you need for the tailgate. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and let your adventurous mind run wild. Then stop in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand sweet onions. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. Can I have your attention, please? I have an important announcement. Our president has a backbone. Thank you, President Trump, for standing up for the American people. We sleep better knowing our country is protected. And speaking of protection, criminals laugh when you purchase a fake safe from a big box store. There's no better time to visit Atlanta Safe House and see what a real safe looks like. But wait, there's more. Now through the end of the month, save hundreds of dollars on all Browning, Fort Knox safes and vault doors. Drop by one of our locations or go to AtlantaSafehouse.com.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
Pete Davis here. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. And the best part, you can play right now here in Georgia. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you can start with as little as $1. I play too. This season, I'm looking at Michael Penix Jr. to go higher on touchdown projections and Drake London to go higher on receiving yards. It's simple, it's fun, and it keeps me locked into every play. Download the app today and sign up with promo code 1063 to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code 1063. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog, and you can be next. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Georgia. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Hot tub. Ow!
I always think of James Brown. I always think of him in, like Blues Brothers or something. Oh, you got to love it. That's right. It's more than all right, baby. 1988. James Brown led the police on a high-speed chase for an hour or two through Georgia and South Carolina. He was high on PCP at the time. 1988. James Brown was arrested, sentenced to 6 years in prison for, among other things, weapons possession, assaulting his wife, carrying a deadly weapon at a public gathering, fleeing the police, driving under the influence of PCP. He served 3 years, got out on good behavior. And, onward and upward.
Didn't he at one point in the chase stick a shotgun out at the window?
Yeah. I don't know whether he shot it, but I guess he threatened him, or whether he shot. I can't remember actually whether he actually fired it. But he was on PCP or something. I mean, good. I didn't even know they had that. It was the 80s, I guess. I was thinking of the 60s. Anyway, let's see. For you old timers here in the Old Kimmer program, much like the Kimmer, I have a birthday wish for a lady named Phyllis Jiggs Sirico. Phyllis Jiggs Sirico, her nickname was Jiggs, is 83 years old. She was a member of the rock and roll group from the 60s called the Angels. My boyfriend's back and he's coming after you. Hey, lady. Remember that song with the Angels? Yep. They were the first group in the 60s that deliberately tried to sound black. And everybody thought they were a black group. Like the Shirelles Supremes.
I didn't think they sounded black in that song.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Back.
Oh, I did, yeah. My boyfriend's back, and he's coming after you. It sounds like the motorcycle song, and the chiffons.
They sound
and the
Lily
Shirelles.
White, though, in that
Well,
sound
not to me. Anyway, but they were, people mistook them, as I did back then, as like 16 years old. Anyway, the Phyllis Jiggs Sirico from the Angels is 83 years old today. Just a salute to the old-timers. And one more, speaking of old things and old-timers and girl-type, 1951. Boy, I remember this. I was only a little boy, but later on this became a huge thing in 1951 when George Jorgensen became Christine Jorgensen. Former GI George Jorgensen became the first widely known sex change recipient in America, 1951. The procedure was performed in Denmark under the supervision of a doctor named Christian Hamburger. Several months later, the New York Daily News ran a front-page story with a headline, "XGI becomes blonde bombshell," all about Christine Jorgensen making her an instant celebrity. And that was the first sex change American known publicly anyway in 1951. And boy, was that. And then who was the tennis player?
Renee Richards.
Renee Richards, yeah, was a guy who became a girl, and they let him play.
Yeah, let him play.
Yeah. All right, 3:55. Holy cow! Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Kimmy Jimble. He deserves his name mixed up. By the way, originally Fox News. Here's the headline: Jimmy Kimmel chokes up as he explains Kirk comments. Says he never intended to mock assassination. That was the Fox News. Here was the headline of the New York Post: Defiant, emotional Jimmy Kimmel returns to the airwaves as Trump bashes ABC for bringing not funny late-night hosts back. And then there's an update from New York Post said, Jimmy Kimmel blasted for crocodile tears during late-night return and only mentioning Charlie Kirk once. Well, the fact of the matter is this dirty, rotten snake last night actually went on TV to a standing ovation, by the way, as you could figure, and he said, among other things, it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man, nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions. Really? That's exactly why you did it, you dirty, rotten liar. I mean, the nerve of these people. Not my intention to blame any specific group. You said MAGA. You said Trump. I mean, my God, what are you talking? You dirty, rotten liar. That was your only goal, and you succeeded, you really rotten snake. He said, I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. He's a sick person. Really? I mean, despicable. Some of the reaction. You used the phrase MAGA gang and then lied about what happened. You definitely intended to make... Well, I'm glad to see somebody else agrees with the whole same thing. Of course you intended to make light of it, misled the American people. Pathetic, said Scott Jennings, the one decent-minded fellow on CNN and all those panels. More, hard to feel sympathy for Jimmy Kimmel and his crocodile tears, given how gleefully he was engorged on the career entrails of conservative stars who lost their jobs like Tucker and Roseanne. He's a partisan political activist, not a comedic host. Jimmy, it's simple, another right. I'm sorry for saying the shooter was MAGA. He was not. He was of the left. I apologize to Kirk family for lying. Please accept my apology. That's what one guy said he should have done. Just despicable. Absolutely despicable. All right, 3:57. Coming up, the story of the Mets announcer belittling and shaming on radio, television, whatever media about the rookie who made a decision to honor Charlie Kirk and said, I don't care what you do to me, I'm taking it because it was important. And here's the difference between how people are reacting to the Charlie Kirk thing, even still today, and even in the baseball community, which makes sense after Pete's told us about how some of these people behave in the sports broadcast community, or reporters community. Flounder, we have a little, Flounder's funny right here.
He was like, yo, Atlanta, be careful, it's dangerous. You could get shot. And I was like, do you know where I live now? I live in Orlando, Florida. I am an hour from the shark bite, the lightning strike, and the meth capitals of the world. 2 hours south, someone got high on bath salts and ate a face. 30 minutes north of my house right now, there's a lake filled with over 10,000 alligators. And sometimes during hurricane season, those alligators get lifted from the lake and launched into neighboring backyards. Sharknado style. Do you think I'm scared of your bullet?
Good. Well, who's that there, Flounder?
That is Mr. Ben Bernard.
Ben Bernard. I love it. It's 3:59. Our number is 404-741-1230. By the way, Pete just sent me some more video. I wonder how the local community reacts of the TV broadcasters watching the Indianapolis Colts. Pete, describe to the people about the promos that the Indianapolis Colts NFL team are putting on television.
They have a mascot dressed up like a big old blue horse in a jersey, and he goes around the facility there in the stadium with basically a pie. What do you think? Whipped cream pie?
It's a whipped cream pie.
Something?
Yeah, cream pie. Yeah, whipped cream pie.
It smashes it, and all the employees and fans and players and coaches' faces just walks right up to him and smacks
right in the face. TV personalities on the air, weather people, doesn't matter. The cold cream pie, wham, right in the face. I mean, you Google it. It's hysterical. I mean, they're dressed up in nice clothes. Wham, right in the puss.
Right in the
All right, 4 o'clock. Timber Pete and Flounder. And you, how's it going? How's your hump day? All right, look out.
The Kimmer Show is live on your ride home on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.
More calls to rein in rhetoric after another deadly attack. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. The FBI investigating what happened in Dallas early today as a targeted attack on an ICE facility. A gunman opening fire from a nearby rooftop, shooting 3 detainees who were in a van, killing one before turning the gun on himself. Anti-ICE was written on a bullet found near his body. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons just telling Fox.
The rhetoric and just the comments, disgusting comments made about ICE officers, their families, and what we do for mission is really spurring all of these attacks, and it's only going to get worse.
Last month, a man was arrested for a bomb threat at the same facility, and in July, a shooting at a different detention center southwest of Dallas left 1 police officer injured. At least 11 people are charged in that attack. Vice President J.D. Vance calling political violence out of control.
You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Vance had a previously scheduled event in North Carolina. The Texas governor posting earlier that the shooting will not slow the arrest, detention, and deportation of illegal immigrants, emphasizing the state's cooperation with ICE. An effort to force states to cooperate with immigration enforcement has just been blocked by a federal judge, ruling it's unconstitutional and unlawful to make grant funding for emergency aid contingent on cooperation. The judge siding with 20 Democrat-led states and D.C., which sued in May. President Trump has a 21-point plan for Mideast peace. An envoy, Steve Witkoff, says it's been presented to some leaders at the UN this week, also telling reporters the U.S. is hopeful of announcing some sort of breakthrough on the war in Gaza in the coming days. The Dow, down 171 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
September is National Preparedness Month, so it's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you ever get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for a week? If you're anything like me, there's always some room for improvement on this stuff, and luckily, the great people at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit and includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, a solar backup generator, and a lot more. And here's the best part. If you go to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. So head to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn for full details. That's mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn.
Da-da. Now, I don't understand something I'm about to read to you here. Let's see if we can
Shocker.
help the Kimmer out. Never happened before. Thanks a lot, Flounder. Phone calls coming up here. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And Bobby McFerrin started 2 weeks at number 1 with Don't Worry, Be Happy on the American Singles Chart. Now, it says here, Don't Worry, Be Happy was the first a cappella record to be number 1. How about Lorne Green with Ringo? Wasn't that a huge hit back in the 60s? How could 1988 Bobby McFerrin? And by the way, this isn't acapella. Acapella means no music. Right?
Because everything, every sound you hear is coming from him. There's not a guitar. There's not a drum. Everything is being played with something from his, whether it's his snapping his fingers or whistling or clapping. Everything is being played by him.
I got you. But wasn't. Okay, that makes sense. I guess theoretically, but a cappella means voice, but no, music accompaniment to me. Just because he did the music himself doesn't mean it's not a cappella. Anyway, well, whatever. Okay, he can have it. Lauren Green spoke there've been a lot of spoken, things that were his. Anyway, well, good. Bobby McFerrin, number one, made a big hit. It was number two in Britain. Also included in the movie Cocktail. The song would go on to win Grammy Awards for both Record of the Year and Song of the Year in 1988. Bobby McFerrin. Don't worry, be happy. So there you are. And happy as heck. To the phones, priority. Alan, you on the radio. Alan, happy hump day. What do you think? Can you believe what's going on there, sir?
Alan, hey, Kimmer.
Yes, sir.
Semper Fi, man. How you doing?
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Good. Hey, listen, so I wanted to talk to you about this subject for a couple of weeks, but it never seemed to fit in.
All right.
I don't know if it really does now.
Anything you want. It's Let It Rip Wednesday. Anything you want. Anytime anybody wants to talk, we're open for it. I swear to God. This is what we do. I wish more people call because, frankly, I think there's a lot of stuff on your mind, and social media is not the way to do it. Call the radio station, and we can all hear you and agree with you or talk with you or disagree, and we'll have a good conversation. I'm sorry, Alan, go right ahead. What do you got there, sir? Yes, sir.
All right. So, anyway, I am an ex-naval aviator, and so what I wanted to talk about was naval aviation, and then in particular, carrier aviation.
Yes, sir.
So right now, we have 11 aircraft carriers in our fleet with 5 in the works.
Okay.
So they are all designated, most of them, CVN. CV stands for Carrier Fixed Wing. The N means nuclear. We don't have any conventional boats anymore.
Yeah, it's all nuclear, absolutely.
And so, right. And so the latest class, which is the Ford class of the 5 that are coming out, we have the Ford, the Kennedy will soon come out. That's CVN 79. And then we have a few more. We've got a new Enterprise. That's CVN 80. 81 will be the Doris Miller. I don't know if you know. That's the guy that was the black cook in the movie Pearl Harbor.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
But then I got a problem with the next 2 that are coming online.
Okay.
And that's CVN 82 and 83. 82 is to be designated the Jefferson Clinton, and 83 is a George W. Bush. First off, we've already got a George Bush. That's CVN 77.
Yeah.
After his dad, who was a naval aviator,
right,
and then had a CIA and a president. So, if you want to, we don't need 2 George Bushes.
Well, he was also wasn't he also an aviator though? Wasn't he?
Confusing though.
Yeah, it is confusing. Why would you have 2?
The older Bush was a naval aviator in World War II. Got shot down, picked up by a submarine, blah, 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 blah.
I think it was a teenager, too, at the time.
Correct. And so we don't need 2 George Bushes.
All right.
I mean, get some paint and put a W under the H and press on.
Okay.
As far as CVN 83, 82 being named after Clinton.
Yeah, really.
I'm sure Hillary will probably want her name engraved somewhere on that.
He was a draft dodger. Bill Clinton, very famously, wrote a letter saying that he abhorred the American. He abhorred the American military, and he was glad that he avoided. He got a colonel to get him out of the draft. That's Bill Clinton for you.
And again, not to mention his wife in Benghazi and the whole.
Oh, God,
He doesn't need her name or his name
should be
associated with any carrier. So
I agree.
to wrap it all up, and hey, I suggest to the Secretary of Defense or Pete.
Secretary of War. Yes.
Secretary of War, correct. Hey, that thing, I'd be very proud if it was called the USS Charlie Kirk.
Wow. I wonder whether they could. Well, let's see.
I don't know if they could do that.
I don't think they can. I think there's probably I'll bet there's probably a standard where they don't name it at. Well, I don't know. That's a great question.
I don't know either, but I'm just because again, it's typically we have the We have the Washington, we've got the Lincoln,
Yeah.
we've got the Stennis, the Truman, the Reagan.
Yeah, but they were elected politicians, and Charlie Kirk was a force. But yeah, that's a great question. I wonder, in fact, who makes the rule? I'll bet you the Secretary of War and Donald Trump could say, screw it, we can name it after anybody we want.
Correct.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, great talking to you. What a great issue, great question. I don't know. Why not? What the hell? You know, I mean, it's their boats. You know, I mean, have a contest. Hell, if you did it in Britain, they called it Bodie McBodie. You know, so Millie McBoatface. Anyway, well, listen, thank you, Alan. And Semper Fi, my friend. Yeah, are you still on the line? Oh, did he hang up?
Sorry, no, he's not.
Oh, we got. Oh, okay. I was going to remind him about that. I always wanted to be a Marine Corps pilot, and when I went to college to try to join the Marine Corps platoon program, they looked at my Coke bottle glasses and started laughing. Sorry, you ain't going to make it, young man. Anyway, well, thank you, Alan. 409, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. Okay, now. Here, we're going to play 2 and 3 here, Flounder. You're going to hear the Mets announcer named Gary Cohen, who was broadcasting the Mets game the other night, and he apparently was walking a fine line while taking issue with a Cubs rookie named Matt Shaw, who was not on the team and took the day off and was not with the team. He got permission to miss the game for a very good reason. However, the Mets is cut number 2, Flounder. The Mets announcer Gary Cohen was trying to be kind of snarky about it. Why this young rookie, missed the game, and how Mets Gary Cohen felt about it. The announcer.
Shaw had Cubs World in a tizzy this weekend when he was not here for the Cubs game with the Reds. Game they lost 1-0.
Matt Shaw,
and in which his lack of presence was felt. It was later revealed that he had been given permission to attend Charlie Kirk's funeral. And I don't want to talk about any of the politics of it.
Oh, really?
The thought of leaving your team in the middle of a race for any reason other than a family emergency really to me is weird.
Strikes me as weird.
Exactly why he did it, for political means. Yeah. That's exactly why Gary Cohen. I like Gary Cohen. I like the way he calls a game. But I hate to say this, but Gary, you need to stay in your lane, and you need to apologize, because you sound like a blanket idiot when you say things like that. It's called bereavement. Yeah. Whether it's family, whether it's friend, if you got permission to leave, if your friend dies and the widow of that friend asks you personally to come to the funeral, I don't care what job you have, you go to that funeral. If Gary Cohen doesn't understand that, he can kiss my ass.
Yeah, and he also got former first baseman Todd Zeal to add that it was unprecedented, unusual. They didn't know until after the game what the issue was. When Cohen was asked if the kid's status as a rookie played into the circumstances, the former first baseman also said it would be unusual in his era back in 1990, but there was no paternity leave then, no bereavement leave, stuff like that. Well, the fact of the matter is, you're going to hear now from the kid himself, the Chicago third baseman rookie Matt Shaw, and he said he missed the game for a very good reason. He went to the manager, Craig Counsell, and said, here's what I want to do. And Matt Shaw says that they're going to come after me. I don't care. Cut number 3, Flounder, if you will, sir.
Are you concerned about the backlash? Because there is a lot of politics about this.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm not concerned at all, no. My connection with Charlie was through our faith. And that's something that drives me every day. That's the reason why I'm able to do what I do every day. And that's something I'm extremely thankful for. I know without my faith and without the many blessings I've been given in my life that I wouldn't be here, able to talk to you guys, able to help this team eventually go and win championships. So that's something I feel really, really blessed about. Whatever backlash comes is okay. I feel strong about my faith in that what was meant to be happening.
Matt Shaw, he said he went to the manager and said why he wanted to be gone and explained everything about it. He said he met Charlie Kirk. They became friends last offseason because they live in the same apartment complex in Arizona. They stayed in contact, and he said when Charlie Kirk got shot, when that happened, he said a lot of emotions came over me. I don't know how to describe everything that happened, how I was feeling, but I will say I was tearing up pretty good. I had a lot of teammates supporting me, and that will be something I'll remember my entire life. And by the way, Matt Shaw said it was Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, who asked him to attend the memorial. After a conversation with his manager, counsel, and some teammates, Matt Shaw said he felt his decision to attend was accepted. The reason Charlie and I connected so close was because of our faith, something that drives me every single day. He also said, I made sure everybody I talked to, I had their support. They knew why I was going, that I wasn't leaving just to leave, that it was something that was really important to my faith. It was really nice to see how everyone was able to support me in that moment. Well, maybe not everyone.
Yeah, well,
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Maybe Gary Cohen should pay more attention to what's going on in his city when you're about to elect a radical Muslim communist as your mayor, instead of worrying what a rookie is doing on another team.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of the communist mayor, you're going to hear a soundbite from Scott Besson. God bless this guy. I mean, almost every day Scott Besson comes up with some reason why he's just a great guy. Oh, I hope he stays in politics forever. And he said, by the way, if Mom Danny wins in New York and then is going to collapse the economy, and Besson said if he calls for a bailout by the government, he's not going to get it.
Yeah, like Gerald Ford said, screw you.
That's right, eat me. It's 4:15. Give her Pete and Flounder already. Holy smokes. So we got more coming up here.
It's time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Well, that completely worthless organization called the United Nations having their General Assembly right now. Donald Trump spoke today, made it clear that the organization was not a friend of the United States. But let me give you some details about the United Nations you probably don't know, unless you're a longtime Bortz listener, of course. First of all, it has been anti-American from its very beginning. There's something called the United Nations World Court. No nation can have more than one justice on the World Court. Oh, except for the Soviet Union. They were around when the UN was formed. They could have 3. Also, no nation could have more than one vote in the General Assembly. 1 vote per nation. Oh, except for the Soviet Union. They got 3 votes. The United Nations has never stopped a war, but they have used money collected for UNICEF, for the children, to buy armaments to help fight a civil war in Katanga. That's in Africa, by the way. The United Nations has supported virtually every anti-Israeli resolution put before that body. Never turned one down. The United States, that means taxpayers, pay a disproportionate share of the cost of operating the United Nations. The United Nations has been deeply involved in all of this climate paranoia we've enjoyed for the last couple of decades. They've done nothing to fight the proliferation of nuclear weapons around the world. Oh, I could go on, but let me finish with this. People are accusing Trump of Islamophobia for comments he made before the UN General Assembly. Let me remind you that a phobia is an irrational fear. There is no such thing as an irrational fear of Islam. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Hey, it's Tug. I was raised to respect my neighbors, and they've got plenty to say about Southern Exteriors. Sarah from Covington, very professional, no hassle, and great quality. Will from Jackson, the crew showed up on time, worked efficiently, and left everything spotless. Jennifer from Jenkinsburg summed it up. Awesome, caring, professional. That's Southern Exteriors. Trusted by me, trusted by your neighbors. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
Georgia Tech homecoming is more than a game, it's tradition. Join us back on the flats for homecoming as the Yellow Jackets take on Syracuse on October 25th, presented by Invesco QQQ. Relive the great moments of the past and be prepared to make new ones. Pulling it, curling right into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackets! Jackets stress the lead. Visit RamblingWreck.com/tickets to get your seats today. Sting 'em.
Yeah, pretty much every day. I'm going through stuff to sort out for my kids, and I'm going on vacation next week, and I'll see them. So I'm bringing stuff that is safe and sound. Thank you, Atlanta Safe House, the way you'll thank them, too, when you get the latest safe and save yourself some money. Running out of time the rest of this month. For this month, you'll save a bundle on Browning safes and Fort Knox safes and vault doors, too, by the way. You feel like a banker with those babies. I mean, it's true. Saving so much money and protecting your stuff. And don't forget also, all gun safes, you don't pay any sales tax on gun safes. And those pistol safes are beautiful, all kinds of different styles. And on the inside, if you have bows and arrows, they have safes for that. Barrel racks and jewelry drawers and, cash things and secret stuff. And they can design it any way you want. Jeff and Mark, you hear about the radio all the time. These guys are true patriots. They protect your rights as well as protecting your stuff. Nobody's getting your master reset code except you. And if you want to change it, they'll do that for you. If you want to rent a safe, if you're gone for a while and you just want to rent one for a convention or a meeting or something or other, they can do that for you too. Showroom in Ackworth on Industrial Boulevard. See almost 200 of them right there. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Looking for the perfect car, truck, or SUV? Jim Ellis Buick GMC has you covered. With a huge selection of new and used vehicles, finding the right fit is easy.
Whether it's a Buick Enclave or Envision, a GMC Acadia or Yukon, or the power of the Sierra and Canyon trucks, and the best part, you're never alone in the process.
Their expert sales team helps match you with the right vehicle, while their finance specialists make buying simple and stress-free.
With decades of experience, Jim Ellis Buick GMC understands the importance of offering an expansive inventory that fits every driving performance, style, and budget need. Plus, every new Buick and GMC comes with cutting-edge technology, premium comfort, and advanced safety features so you can drive with confidence.
Already a Buick or GMC owner? Well, keep it running like new with their state-of-the-art service center staffed by factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. Start your search at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person in Chamblee off Peachtree Boulevard, inside the Perimeter, or in Beaufort off Highway 20 near 985. Jim Ellis, Buick GMC, we are professional grade.
Join Daniel Matalon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is former Clayton County Sheriff and current candidate for Congress in Georgia's 5th District, Victor Hill. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Here we go now. Little Eagles for you. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on your hump day. 1979, the Eagles released their 6th album, The Long Run, featuring Heartache Tonight. Written by Don Henley, Glenn Frey, Bob Seger, and J.D. Souther. Won a Grammy. This release of the album The Long Run, the first album to feature bassist Timothy Schmidt, who had replaced founding member Randy Meisner. And this album in 79 was the last full album to feature Don Felder before they fired him in 2001. The thing there. Let's see, our birthday list includes Nia Vardalos is 63 from the My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I think I saw part of that movie once. Anyway, if you saw that movie, you may know who that is. And on this day, this will be for Alan. Alan, our former naval aviator, who called us a few minutes ago and was talking about aircraft carriers and nuclear aircraft carriers being named and stuff like that. Well, my friend, on this day in 1960, the USS Enterprise is launched at Newport, Virginia, at 1,122 feet. She, the USS Enterprise, was the longest naval vessel ever built, and with 8 nuclear propulsion reactors, the Enterprise is also the only aircraft carrier to have more than 2 nuclear reactors. The USS Enterprise was launched in 1960, was decommissioned in 2017. And by the way, Alan, Every single party or gathering that I have ever been to with a hot babe that also featured a naval aviator. And by the way, you can always tell who the Navy pilots are at a party. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. Every single time I've ever been to an organization, a party, a meeting, a gathering, that there was a Navy pilot there and I had a hot babe on my arm, he tried to take her. Every single time, I swear to God. And one of them was such a bimbo that he was showing her. I made the mistake of going to get a drink for us or something. And I come back and he's got her over by the pictures on this wall at this party, showing her pictures of his airplane in the sky. And she's saying, "Oh, what a nice picture of an airplane." I said, "Sweetie, that's him in there. He's showing that he was flying the plane." I said, "Isn't that so cute?" I mean, things don't end well. Every single time.
You weren't helping the situation there. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
You were helping him.
Yeah, I know. But I had to take control somehow. It's just unbelievable. It never ended. Every single time. This bastard. And again, when I went into the recruiter in college, when they tried to sign me up, they started laughing and said, "Kid, you're not." Anyway. All right, 425, Kevin, Pete, and Flounder. We're going to hear from Scott Besson here in a second. Melania Trump. Well, remember we talked yesterday when the people at the United Nations trying to go up the escalator, Donald Trump and the First Lady, and the thing, all of a sudden, boom, the thing stopped. And like I suggested, and before I saw the video, Melania Trump obviously was wearing very high heels. And she kind of stumbled for a second. She didn't really stumble. She kind of caught herself. And like Donald Trump said, if she hadn't been in physical shape, she could have tripped. She could have hurt herself. Well, no kidding. In fact, what's her name? The president's spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, says the Secret Service is going to be looking into this. The safety mechanism inadvertently, they say, triggered by somebody ahead of the president. Then they put it back and reset it. Yeah, well, the other escalators were doing fine. It was only one with the First Lady and the president on it. The others were operational. Staffers got caught talking about stalling the escalators and the elevators because of Donald Trump to complain about shortfall funding that he's complaining that he's taken away from the funding. And Donald Trump made a joke about it. But a former Secret Service agent said, "This is unbelievable. This, you guys should," at least one agent said, "the agents didn't do squat. They just stood there. They should have closed ranks around her right there. If somebody's got to make a call, they're standing around like a bunch of morons. They're going to scoop her up and do something." They ended up walking up the stairs. I mean, this is, insulting. All right, 426, Cameron, Pete, and Flounder. Now, this is kind of fun. Remember the other day, well, first of all, I've seen sound bites last night all over the place about Carmela Side Piece, now on TV, talking about her book. I used to be a side piece and wanted to be your president in 107 days. That might not have been the official title. And every time she gets on TV, she's talking. I mean, she's trying to feel sorry for her that she, just ran out of time, as though they're actually excuses for why she didn't win the presidency. It makes me sick looking at her like she's trying to seem like she has something important to say, blaming everybody else. Boo-booing to her husband about how they were, trying to make her campaign worse and everything else. Well, yesterday we had fun hearing the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, carving a new one for the socialist embarrassment George Stephanopoulos, who kept trying to get Rubio to admit that people were dying around the world because of cuts in the U.S. aid program. Well, now here's Treasury Secretary Scott Besson, a very proud gay man, which is ironic and only important because the reaction to it is special, pointing out the obvious about the phony Carmela vice president side piece and her little side piece friend Petey Booty Fudge and why she didn't win the election. Flounder cut number one, if you will. Scott Besson right here.
She wouldn't take on Pete Buttigieg because he was gay, because she said it was a risk to have a running mate who was a gay man.
Talking
Your
to Maria
reaction?
Bartiromo.
Three things, Maria. First, it shows her emphasis on identity politics, and the American people have moved on. Two, it shows how low regard she holds the American people. That she was just a terrible candidate. And three, you wouldn't pick Pete Buttigieg because he might have been the worst transportation secretary in history. Like, if I thought I was left a mess at Treasury, I can tell you, your friend, my friend Sean Duffy, our great transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg left him a mess. The FAA is a disaster. The Amtrak, anything to do with transportation was woefully neglected over the past 4 years. So, she judges him on his identity, his sexuality. let's look and see whether he did a good job. Let's look on merit, and I can tell you, on merit, he's a failure, and on merit, she's a failure.
You notice how some of the reactions, Scott Besson didn't even have to mention he himself is gay. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you idiots. Are you qualified or not? Do you do the job well or not? I mean, some of the other reactions. I keep forgetting the world's most badass Treasury Secretary, Scott Besson, is gay. The POTUS hatred of gay people on full display, all right. Besson's a badass. Nobody cares who he marries. We care about he's freaking exceptional. You know what's crazy? I love the guy. Most of what he says and does follow closely. I don't care that he's gay. I didn't even know he was gay. What a novel way to look at people, by what they do rather than how they're freaking labeled. I mean, it's totally irrelevant to the ability to function in the role, whether he's gay. Scott Besson's gay. He's doing a great job and gave a great answer. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is exactly why identity politics don't make any sense. I mean, seriously. God, these freaking people, they can't stop. I mean, it's really humiliating and embarrassing. Well, how unusual is that? All right. Anyway, Kimmer Pete Flounder, 4:30 already. Holy smokes. If you want to join us, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Let's do some tweets next. Pete Davis will do some tweets coming up. Holy crap at sports later on. More Flounders funnies. And a lot of... the Ryder Cup starts on Friday, but we're all... American team already getting ripped. And illegal immigrants in high school... in a fakery scheme that got caught. Coming up, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, The Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the XTRA 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Pete Davis here, and football is rolling. An Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. And the best part, you can play right here, right now in Georgia. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, INTs, and more. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can start with as little as $1. This Thursday night, Cardinals against the Seahawks. I got quarterback Kyler Murray, that's quarterback, to be higher on his rushing yards projection, and Cooper Kupp to go higher on his receiving yards. It's simple, it's fun, and it keeps me locked into every play. Download the app today and sign up with promo code 1063 to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code 1063 for $50 in bonus funds. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. You can be next. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Georgia. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well, because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, the Trusted Toolbox.
Hey, it's Lowe's here to tell you about a new, stress-free, and completely transparent way to purchase your next pre-owned car, truck, or SUV. It's with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, traditionally, I've been a payment buyer. How do you work with that type of buyer?
I have people that come in all the time and they want to spend $20,000. Okay, if their payments are $400 on $20,000, they don't realize without the doc fees, without all this other stuff, we can put them in a 22 or 23 model car and we can spend a little bit more money and have the same payment. So if you're a payment buyer, don't come in here just saying, I want to spend $20,000, because we can sit there and help you and we can put you in a newer car with lesser miles at a payment you need.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local businesses, and exciting events like the 8th annual Paulding Pro Rodeo.
Hey, I'm Seth with Bice Rodeo Productions, partnering with Southern Rodeo Company, a family-owned and local rodeo production company. Join us October 3rd and 4th for the Paulding Pro Rodeo, where you'll see bucking bulls, professional cowboys and cowgirls, as well as the world-famous rodeo clown Dusty Myers. Also, we are proud to be sanctioned through the PCA. This is also our first year for the Cow Kids Rodeo Fun Day. This is a separate event for kids with special needs and their families from the community. For more information, go to southernrodeocompany.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Friends, get your tickets now at rodeoticket.com. You definitely don't want to miss this. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
True Prep is celebrating 14 years with their biggest anniversary event ever. It all happens Saturday, September 27th at their Cobb Parkway location in Marietta. You'll find massive savings on dozens of items, plus free food, local vendors, and giveaways every hour from 11 to 2. And here's the big one. They're giving 30% off all used firearms and gear for one day only on September 27th. Don't miss the party, sales, food, and 30% off savings on all used firearms. Celebrate 14 years with True Prep. Get the details at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
Extra 106.3 personalities aren't afraid to tell it like it is.
Without Donald Trump, nothing that's going on would be happening right now. Donald Trump is changing the world.
And you'll never hear us spew that violent rhetoric from the left. So don't be afraid to tell it like it is, because we're happy to have you as part of the Extra community.
I particularly like Donald Trump's actions in getting illegal aliens the hell out of this country.
Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
We're going to hear an illegal alien story here in a second, which will kind of bring a few things to light. And a lot more coming up about these liberal Democrats. But first, oh my. Wow. Oh. Wow, this is... This is Rush. It was on this day in 1975. Rush released their third album, Caress of Steel. It didn't sell worth a crap, at least not compared to Fly By Night, the one before. Poorly received by critics, too. 1975. Then Rush later admitted the album's lack of focus and quality was because of the copious amounts of marijuana consumed while they were doing the recording sessions, and they really didn't know what had come out on the acetate, whatever the tape was again. Anyway, our birthday list, Kipper Peyton Flounder, includes Kevin Sorbo. He is Hercules. He was also in Krull or Whatever that was, one of those movies. Kevin Sorbo, 67-year-old Hercules today as we speak. And on this day in 1968, it was the stopwatch on the cover of the CBS video news show 60 Minutes that first began ticking on this day in 1968. Magazine show created by Don Hewitt. Began as a bi-weekly program hosted by Harry Reasoner and Mike Wallace. It featured Morley Safer, Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite, Charles Kuralt, Roger Mudd, Bill Plant, Eric Severide eventually. In addition to the 3 long format news stories of the show, it often included a point-counterpoint featuring James J. Kilpatrick representing conservatives and Nicholas von Hoffman at first representing liberal views on a different topic every week. That changed. Who was the woman who eventually did it? I can't remember. I see her face and I can't remember her name.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
But that's where Saturday Night Live then started doing the pro and con or point counterpoint, where he would say, Jane, you ignorant slut, and like that, and it was hysterical. And I forgot the name of the woman who was an editor at Washington Post or something or other. Anyway, in 1978, and stretching all the way to 2011, most of the shows ended with a few minutes with Andy Rooney. And he ranted about topics, usually with a comical tone or slant to it or some kind. But 60 Minutes, first one, ticking stopwatch in 1968. And that was a force for a long time.
Well, it actually did news. And
and they were serious. I mean, and they were thorough.
Journalists.
Yeah. They wanted to investigate, and they seemed fair. I mean, and by the way, and the old joke used to be, if you go into work and you see Mike Wallace sitting in your front room, you're in big trouble. You know, if you see Mike Wallace heading to the boardroom at your company, somebody's gonna, I mean, really, it was a huge force. 60 Minutes. Nobody missed 60 Minutes. I mean, anyway. Kimber Pete Flounder, 440. How's it going? By the way, there's a big debate going on, as you know. Oh, I got to get Mr. Phone here. Sorry. Concerning the Tylenol business, and that we talked about this a lot yesterday concerning Donald Trump saying, ladies, don't take Tylenol. Pretty much as simple as that. They're still talking about it, and now the Johns Hopkins University says Tylenol, if you take it while you're pregnant in the womb, it can affect the babies. And
Harvard too said it.
Harvard says the same thing. And by the way, Flounder found this morning and passed it along. This is a notice from the Tylenol company, and it says, quote, we actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. This was dated March 7th, 2017.
Have you seen all the women, the liberal women out there, so smugly and smartly taking handfuls of them and popping it and doing this little dance?
There's a meme of a woman literally emptying a bottle of Tylenol into her mouth, all the pills at once, to prove, and they're doing it on video to say, screw you, Trump. Well, we don't believe you. We'll take all these things. Oh,
Which is what we said. If Trump cured cancer, you'd have people out there screaming and hollering that they want cancer because Trump was doing it.
That's right. He said that to the joint session of Congress that time. He said, I thank God, by the way, I really wish I wish we could see that every week. I wish somebody would play that video every week. When Donald Trump stopped and said, I'm looking out at you people, and honestly, he said, if I cured cancer, you'd complain that it took away jobs for pharmacists or something. I mean, he said, you wouldn't salute me if I cured cancer. You would like you're sitting on your hands. I mean, this is despicable. And again, these are the same people. It all comes back to things like the Charlie Kirk shooting, and it comes back to what happened today in Dallas at the ICE facility, where a sniper with bullets he left on after he killed himself, left on the scene, complaining about ICE agents, and he started shooting up the ICE agents' facility, and instead of killing ICE agents, he actually killed illegal immigrants who were in custody of the ICE agents. So the sniper, as a liberal screaming, Trump-hating, ICE-hating liberal psychopath, actually killed the victims who were the people the leftists were trying to save and hide.
Well, the leftists are saying that, because he killed the migrants, obviously that proves he's conservative. And Dan Burke pointed out he's shooting wildly into a van in a window.
Yeah.
And there's another thing going on out there. Remember when the Charlie Kirk murderer said that he has to be a conservative because his family's conservative? Well, guess who the sister of this crazy guy in Dallas is?
Who's the sister?
A queer leftist activist.
I'll be darned. And again, I'm telling you, nobody, the people on the left, you are to blame for this. In fact, Flounder, did you say you have J.D. Vance's comment?
Yes, I do.
Okay, earlier, you may have heard it on the news, but it's worth hearing again. You're going to hear more comments about this, too. This is the Vice President of the United States. And the first thing I said all morning long after this story came out was, we have to start blaming the people responsible, and it's the Democrat political leaders, and it's the media who are telling people all over the world that ICE agents are Nazis and that they're stealing and kidnapping and disappearing people who don't deserve anything at all, and they're just hiding their faces and acting like Nazis and brown shirts. Well, this is Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, saying, hold on just a damn minute, Flounder, if you will.
Because here's what happens when Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
I love the fact the Vice President of the United States is telling them to go to hell.
Yeah.
Go straight to hell. It's about time.
Well, that's what we do. We tell people to go to hell. They shoot us.
Yeah. Talking is one thing, but killing is another, and that's what Democrats do. And by the way, if you're at these local politicians, Lucy McBath and Sanford Bishop and Hank Johnson, if you know them and they have meetings, you ask them whether they still think that ICE agents are Nazis. You ask them if they take any responsibility for telling people to hide illegal aliens.
Push back.
Yeah, exactly. Stand up to these people. I guarantee you, they're not going to apologize, and they still believe that ICE agents are Nazis, but now they're not going to talk about it for a while yet because they're a bunch of dirty, stinking, rotten, cowardly traitors. And they need to be outed and blamed for this. It's their fault. They're the ones who caused this to happen. My God, they tried to murder Donald Trump twice. They shot him in the face, and Charlie Kirk, and the CEO with the healthcare business, and this guy, and it's one after another. They're killing us. They're arming themselves and killing us, and the left is pushing them to do it. What a time in America. 4:45 already. Holy smokes. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, man. I don't believe this stuff. All right, come on. Let's do tweets. We never got tweets. Let's do tweets. Well, we won't get sidetracked at this time. I got it right here. I got my thing right here. There it is. Oh,
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. At RBM of Atlanta, we embody this definition. Convenience is our middle name. With school in full swing and after-school activities taking over all your available time, now more than ever, convenience is a must-have. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for those services. Once the services have been complete, we'll bring your Mercedes-Benz back to you. With over 110 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2025 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor at RBM of Atlanta for details.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. The big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand sweet onions. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
You protect your physical health by choosing your doctors carefully. Protect your financial health by choosing an attorney carefully. An accident can be very costly. You want to receive the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law. My friend David Van Sant will take care of you, trust me, very well. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. The website is vansantlaw.com. In the event of an accident, it could be the most important phone call you make.
Hey Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be, because you know what? Lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true, right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
Let's take a tour. Magical Mystery Tour. This was the day, 1967. The Beatles continued filming for the Magical Mystery Tour at West Malling Air Station in Maidstone, Kent, when they shot the Your Mother Should Know ballroom finale. The video had all the Beatles dressed all in white suits and shoes, gliding down a glittery staircase as 160 members of Peggy Spencer's dance team swirled all about. The Magical Mystery Tour, all right. The Beatles. Cameron Peyton Flounder, how you doing on your hump day? See, our birthdays include Ian Bowen. I didn't know the guy's name when I looked him up and found out he was one of the actors in Yellowstone. Ian Bowen is 49. He played Ryan in the series Yellowstone. He's probably the only cowboy in the series Yellowstone that didn't look like a cowboy. He looked more like a model. And if you know, his name was Ryan. He's 49, Ian Bowen. And he was also in Teen Wolf. in case you may have followed that career or the other thing. And we got tweets coming up here. And it was on this day in 1961, Rocky and Bullwinkle get a primetime slot and a brand new name called now The Bullwinkle Show when Rocky and his friends moved from ABC to NBC. Their friends included Boris Badenov and Natasha Fatale. The show had a huge adult audience, even though it was a cartoon. Again, it's 1961. Hell, I remember in college, everybody, when Rocky and Bullwinkle came on, everybody went down to the downstairs to watch TV to see Rocky and Bullwinkle. And
hey, Rocky, can pull this rabbit out of the hat.
Oh, that never worked. Time to get a new hat, Oh, golly, Mr. Peabody. I mean, what a great show. My boy Sherman. The friends included Boris Badenov and Natasha, and even though the standard of the day was poorly animated, it was one of the first cartoons whose animation was outsourced, and the storyboards were shipped to a studio in Mexico. Unfortunately, and no offense or anything, but one of the creators, Bill Scott, said the problems that arose during the production were horrible. We found out quickly we couldn't depend on Mexican studios to produce anything of any kind of quality. They were turning out crap really quickly. There were all kinds of mistakes, flaws, and boo-boos. They'd never check. Mustaches popped on and off Boris. Bullwinkle's antlers would disappear. Colors would change. Costumes would disappear. By the time we finally saw it, it was already on the air. And by the way, both Rocky and Bullwinkle were given the middle initial J, Rocky J. Squirrel, Bullwinkle J. Moose, in reference to the creator and producer, J. Ward. So there you are, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Anyway, 4:54. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and it's hump day, and everybody's going fine here on 106.3. And a little something here. We got memes, we got one-liners, and social media's going nuts these days with everything. And so we have a little thing we like to call Pete's Tweets here on 106.3.
All righty, let's start with the first Polish language dictionary published in 1746.
Oh, my.
Here is the definition of a horse.
All right, sir.
Horse. Everyone knows what a horse is.
That's what it says?
Yeah.
What are you looking at me for?
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Oh,
right,
mercy.
Michael has the greatest movie review ever about Jaws.
Oh, okay.
The tragic story of a bunch of alcoholics who hunt down and murder a fish for the crime of being really hungry.
Okay. It makes
sometimes
sense.
I think I'm reasonably intelligent.
Yeah.
And sometimes I click the remote car door lock a second or third time for extra lockiness.
That's right. That's right. You hit the elevator button 9 times instead of just once. Yeah, it comes faster that way.
Tim posts, every time I hear a chef on TV say that you can easily make this from items already in your pantry, I assume they're going to make something with ramen noodles, potato chips, and various Little Debbies. Yet another reason not to trust the legacy media. The Guardian, a far-left newspaper in London. Here are some headlines they've run, starting in 2009 and up to recent times, about Colombian drug kingpin Pablo Escobar bringing African hippopotamuses to his compound in South America.
Yeah.
Those hippos would later escape and roam the countryside. Here are the headlines. Pablo Escobar's hippos can restore a lost world. Pablo Escobar's hippos are people too. Pablo Escobar's hippos to cost Colombia $3.5 million. Pablo Escobar's hippos have become a biodiversity nightmare. Pablo Escobar's hippos must be cold. Pablo Escobar's fugitive hippo shot dead. And finally, has Pablo Escobar come back as a hippo?
That's right. That was the thing. Hippos are the most dangerous animals in the world.
They kill more people in Africa than snakes and crocodiles combined.
Yeah.
And Bob tweets, marriage is like chaining yourself to a bear, then kicking it. And Chris asks the musical question, how do Amish girls know if it's a romantic candlelit dinner or just dinner?
Or just dinner, Very clever. Pete's tweets, among other things. 4:57. Coming up, the Ryder Cup starts. Holy Crap at Sports coming up in about 15 or 20 minutes.
I'm not even going to mention them, so you go ahead.
Oh, well, as a tease, the Ryder Cup is coming up Friday. And, if you're a golf enthusiast, obviously it's a fun thing to watch. Stuff like that. It's a fun tournament. And it's supposedly just one country against Europe, basically, and Spain and Asia and everywhere. It's everybody in the world against America, which is kind of cool. But now
we're Europeans against us.
No. Now if you're any country in the world, they can be part of the team. I mean,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, at 4:58, Flounder got another Flounder's Funny back there, and already the Ryder Cup's getting blasted for how they're dressing. That's coming up. First of all, a little Flounder's Funny.
We're having trouble in Seattle with geese, Canada geese. Big, fat, mean, pooping machines is what they are. They're everywhere. They're mean as can be. They don't migrate anymore. And you know what? We have hungry homeless people. We have extra geese. Anybody else see a possible solution? You know, a loaf of Wonder Bread and a wiffle ball bat. I can clean up a park real quick. It's a good visual, isn't it? But one of the solutions in Seattle was they tried rounding up these geese, put them in trucks, take them to Idaho. There's my tax dollars are worth. Trucking birds to Idaho. Because those birds got back before those trucks did.
And by the way, have you ever seen on a golf course, they will hire teams of professional dogs, Shetland little dog, sheep dogs, to go chase the ducks and the geese the hell off the golf course. I mean, and they go flying after them, and they go in the water, they jump in the ponds, they chase them. It's unbelievable. I've seen them do it many times. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's really, and they whistle and call. They have signals. It's really, really pretty cool.
If they put American Eagles around the golf course, that'll keep them down too.
That's right. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 5 o'clock almost, and we'll have the Holy Crap at Sports and the latest on the politics. We'll reset everything coming up at top of the hour with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on your hump day. All right, here we go. Hey, la la Lola, baby.
The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.
A message from the president to Democrats on Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump blaming radical left Democrats demonizing law enforcement for rising threats and violence, calling on them to stop the rhetoric in a post after the deadly shooting at a Dallas ICE facility early today. Vice President J.D. Vance.
The very people who keep us safe ought to be honored and protected and praised by Democrats and Republicans alike. It is time to stop the rhetorical assault on law enforcement.
The Dallas shooter was on a nearby rooftop where he was found dead after shooting 3 detainees, killing one. An anti-ICE message found written on a bullet. A stalemate continues over government spending.
With a federal funding deadline less than a week away, Republicans and Democrats are blaming each other for a potential government shutdown on October 1st.
I mean, that's all outrageous, and it points to one thing. Republicans have decided to shut the government down.
Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries points to President Trump deciding to cancel a meeting with congressional Democrats this week. The president had agreed to an Oval Office sit-down for Thursday, but now says such a meeting would not be productive, calling Democrats' demands for a short-term spending bill unserious.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The Justice Department said to be considering possible charges against former FBI Director James Comey, but a source tells Fox a grand jury has not yet voted.
We are told that the statute of limitations for lying to Congress is 5 years, and authorities are looking at bringing a charge relating to Comey's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee on September 30th, 2020. September 30th, 2025 is early next week, so the statute of limitations is running out for a charge to be brought.
Fox's David Spunt. America is listening to Fox News.
September is National Preparedness Month, so it's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you ever get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for a week? If you're anything like me, there's always some room for improvement on this stuff. And luckily, the great people at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit, and includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, a solar backup generator, and a lot more. And here's the best part. If you go to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. So head to mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn for full details. That's mypatriotsupply.com/Glenn.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, ride a bike. Ready on your dog, target. Road guards out. Oh, by the way, I'm looking at Fox News. I just saw Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage actually saying, quote, "We have to stop demonizing each other. You dirty, rotten snake. Yeah, screw you. Here's a big middle finger to you, you dirty, rotten traitor. You freaking..." Oh, my, I don't have enough words about her.
Oh, she also went off attacking Christian males as the biggest problem in this country. Once again, Christian males.
Yeah, here we go. I'd like the Democrats have been saying from the beginning, and with the Marines in the background and everything, that we're a danger, MAGA Republicans are a danger to America. Half the country's in danger to the other half of the country. Yeah. And you Christians who actually go to, school board meetings or pray outside an abortion clinic, you should go to prison. I mean, it's just outrageous. They can't stop. Well, we'll talk all about that other stuff. Kara, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 504. Here's the number: 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you would like to join us, we got a million things going on here with us all. Politics stuff and the shooting in Dallas again, the ICE thing. And I'm telling you, Democrats, you'll hear the people talking about who to blame, and you know who's to blame. And Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage just said we have to stop all this, violence on both sides, demonizing each other. Hey, how about the basket of deplorables? Remember that you started this stuff, 10 years ago with all your and hell, long before Donald Trump even got on the escalator. But boy, sure that started the worst of it. It's unbelievable. Anyway, all right, everything's fine. Hump Day. We'll talk Braves coming up for a little bit later on. But first, the politics. Oh, and in case you just joined us and haven't heard, if you are a fan of Peter Sellers movies, including The Pink Panther, then you know the character played by Claudia Cardinale, who was in The Pink Panther. She was also Once Upon a Time in the West. She was in a lot of foreign movies and so forth. And Claudia Cardinale passed away at the age of 87. A former screen siren, and she had a terrific. She didn't want to be an actress, and she won kind of a contest and went to the showbiz thing in Rome. She had been raped by a Frenchman when she was 19, kept the baby, and had to go to work to support her family, and that's why she got into show business, got into the movies. Claudia Cardinale passed away at the age of 87. And I just recorded The Pink Panther the other day, and The Return of Pink Panther, and Shot in the Dark, three of my favorite movies. Okay, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 506-404-741-1230, 741-1230. The shooter, I'm not going to mention his name. I don't really care much about him, but Pete mentions that his sister, is it his sister you said, was a screaming pink-haired, liberal, gay, furry, tranny, something or other activist?
Andy Woe, who knows all about this Trantifa stuff, been on the front lines of reporting about this, one of the last true journalists in America, reports that his sister, now today, that could mean it's really his brother,
true,
it's his sister,
true.
Is a queer activist leftist. So,
and again, this guy was a sniper on a roof, and he started shooting into the ICE facility and the van at the ICE facility in Dallas, and he killed people who were not ICE agents. But he had, just like the last time we heard about this, the messages on bullets and ammo containers and pouches and ammunition equipment of one kind or another. And this guy had written anti-ICE comments on bullets. that were left to the scene because he killed himself. But, the terrible tragedy is, the way it goes for no matter who it was, but he just started shooting indiscriminately, and the people he killed and wounded were not ICE agents at all. I mean, that's why he shot it up, because he hated ICE agents and because of the Democrats telling him to do it. And so, he ironically shot the people that the left was trying to protect and hide. The illegal immigrants were the ones who got killed and shot. It's despicable. Here we go. The epidemic of leftist political violence must end. Fostering you Democrats an environment of evil, emboldening radicals to kill, steal, and destroy. But we will never surrender, said the Attorney General of Texas. The governor says that we will not slow our arrest, detention, and deportation of illegal immigrants. J.D. Vance, you heard a minute ago, saying you can all go to hell. These killings are a wake-up. Kristi Noem said this is a wake-up call to the far left. Their rhetoric about ICE has consequences. This is Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. Comparing ICE day in and day out to the Nazi Gestapo, the secret police, the slave patrols has consequences. The men and women of ICE are fathers and mothers, sons and daughters. They get up every morning to try to make our communities safer. Like everyone else, they just want to go home to their families at night.
The left is cheering this on. They think it's great.
It's almost... there's a darkness in their souls. There's something missing. Yeah, there's something missing in their capacity.
Mama brought them up wrong. We know that.
Understand it. They're telling people don't cooperate. ICE is a bunch of Nazis. They're disappearing people. Help them hide. Tell people where the ICE patrols are so they can block them. Throwing stuff. You've seen all the video. You know what they've been doing. And this is the result of it. And by the way, now the Democrats are going to say, well, violence of any kind is wrong. My ass. It's your violence. You've been doing it. You started it. You're to blame. And people like Lucy McBath from Georgia and Hank Johnson from Georgia are the ones who said Charlie Kirk basically got what he deserved. They were not only going to honor him, they don't give a damn. They're glad he's dead. And I guarantee you, they are the ones who are telling. How about the mayors of people of places like Chamblee or all those? Remember all those illegal aliens rounded up in the metro Atlanta areas and so forth? All those people tried to hide those illegal immigrants. All those Democrats in this area tried to hide them and stop ICE from doing their job. You're responsible for telling the people of America that the ICE agents are dangerous and are Nazis and they're hiding their faces because they're disappearing people. And you're responsible for this happening. Lucy McBath, do you still think that ICE should not be allowed to round up illegal immigrants, yes or no? How about Hank Johnson? Do you think that ICE should stop what it's doing? Do you think they're criminals and Nazis, yes or no? You dirty, rotten, stinking snake, traitor bastards. You're murderers. Seriously, this is just outrageous. Don't let them get away with it. Oh, God. How about let's play Senator Ted Cruz, Flounder. In fact, when they announced this morning they had the news conference, I saw the first part of it with the police officers and so forth. And Ted Cruz was one of the first to say, we know where to blame the people here. Number 4, if you will, Flounder, Ted Cruz, right here.
This needs to stop. Violence is wrong. Politically motivated violence is wrong. It was 2 weeks ago today that we saw a political assassination in Utah that tore the heart out of much of this country. This is the 3rd shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP. This must stop. To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop. To every politician demanding that ICE agents be doxxed and calling for people to go after their families, stop. This has very real consequences. Look, in America, we disagree. That's fine. That's the democratic process. But your political opponents are not Nazis.
They're not going to stop. And they're not going to take responsibility. Not one of them is saying, gee, maybe we went too far. We don't mean to do that. Yeah, please. No. That'll never happen. I think. Seriously, do you think any one of them is looking in the mirror? Hell, Governor Newsom from California, the mayor of Los Angeles, the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, J.B. Fatzker. I mean, these people are all condemning ICE agents, condemning conservatives for trying to round up illegals. They're stopping the ICE agents everywhere they can. You've seen the video of people throwing rocks. I mean, just your everyday common citizen now throwing rocks at federal agents. And it gets started, this goes back way before even the George Floyd thing. This is how they react with violence.
It's funny how states' rights is suddenly back in vogue when their side wants to evoke it.
Yeah. And now they want to make sure that they go back into changing all the districts now to get more Democrats in power. This is what happens when Democrats take over things. You're witnessing it. You're part of it. You're seeing this. They're killing us. They're getting guns and killing us. This is their answer to the conversations is with violence.
And they don't feel remorse about this at all. None of them have come out and said that, we should tone this down.
Not one. Well, they're saying both. They're saying, both sides have. Both sides, my ass. When's the last Republican you saw complaining after Charlie Kirk got assassinated? Well, Republicans took to the streets and burned down a bunch of parking lots and car dealerships and warehouses, right? Oh, no, that's right. We freaking prayed. They went to church. Mm-hmm. In fact, I saw a study they were mentioning this morning. The first-time church service has gone up like 60% in America. People who had never gone to church are going to church after they saw the Sunday show about Charlie Kirk.
Good.
God bless America. 5:13. Holy crap, it's sports. It's coming up. We got it all. Look out.
The XTRA 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the XTRA 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Well, we still got that hot weather growing season going on here. And again, if you're a contractor building, putting in a backyard or a deck, Stovall & Company, third-generation family, Paul and the boys, there are 11 locations now, the latest one in Canton. And if you're putting in somebody's outdoor kitchen or fireplace or something like that, and you need some concrete or supplies for things, they've got that. It's wholesale supply company for landscaping and stuff, sprinkler systems and irrigation systems and plants and trees and shrubs and all that kind of stuff. And if you need something special for that house and they don't have it, they can tell you where to get it, even if they lose the sale. What a company. StovallInc.com.
Some remodelers are too big to care, others too small to count on. Southern Exteriors hits the sweet spot. Big company buying power with hometown heart. Hates Tug, and I trust them for siding, roofing, gutters, windows, and doors. Over 1,000 projects a year, top materials fast, prices fair, and jobs on track. Plus 25 years of true local care. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
If you've been waiting for the right time to make the switch to electric, this is it. At Jim Ellis Chevrolet, limited time incentives on select EVs are here now, but only through September 30th, 2025.
That means if you've had your eye on an electric car, this could be your last chance to save thousands of dollars.
Whether it's the all-new Chevy Blazer EV, the powerful Silverado EV, or something in between, now's the time to plug in and move forward.
Plus, at Jim Ellis Chevrolet, we make the switch easy with expert guidance, flexible financing, and a friendly team ready to help you every step of the way.
Don't wait. Visit Jim Ellis Chevrolet today or head to JimEllisChevrolet.com to find out more. But hurry, these savings disappear after September 30th. Jim Ellis Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
What is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot. testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Backyard, ballpark, or campsite, if there's fire, you can grill. At Southern Thunder Barbecue School, our Grill with the Pros class puts you in the action. In just 4 hours, you'll master steakhouse quality steaks, thick-cut pork chops, chicken quarters, veggie kebabs, and wings. It's a hands-on training under the tutelage of barbecue grand champions. When the cooking is complete, you'll feast. Don't just grill, grill like a pro. Register now at southernthunderbarbecue.com. That's southernthunderbbq.com.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Like I always say, 1493, Columbus sailed the deep blue sea. Of course, it was his second voyage on this day, and he brought cattle to the New World this time and discovered the Virgin Islands. There were fewer virgins when he left. Anyway, sponsored by RBM of Atlanta. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Well, the Braves ended their season series with D.C. this afternoon at Truist Park. They also ended their 10-game winning streak as Washington won 4-3. Yeah. Comeback attempt came up just short at the bottom of the ninth. Bryce Elder falls to 8-11, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits in 7 innings. He's pitched well this year. Yeah. Mitchell Parker, the win in relief for the Nationals. All 3 Atlanta runs came on solo homers. Kind of like the night before. Drake Baldwin, his 19th, Marcell Ozuna, his 21st, and Eli White, his 10th of the season. I believe Ozuna now has 4 short of 300. And just for grins and giggles, since we're kind of toward the end of the year here, let's listen to Baldwin's dinger.
3-1 pitch. Swung on, ripped to right field. Low line drive. Might not be high enough to get out of here, but it is! Home run! Drake Baldwin puts the Braves on the board with a scorching line drive over the bricks into the Braves bullpen.
Little Joe Simpson there.
On sister station 680 The Fan. We always love Joe. Listen to his stuff. Him and Ben Ingram. One of the better teams, if not the best team on radio.
Yeah, they are.
Certainly better than what the Mets can put out there. But that's just my opinion. Braves off tomorrow before beginning a 3-game home series Friday night against the Pirates to close out the season. And Charlie Morton will make his last appearance as a Brave and last in the major leagues this weekend as a reliever, not a starter. Joey Wentz will start Friday, Spencer Strider Saturday, and Chris Sale Sunday to close it out. Now, personally, Charlie Morton, to me, is a starter. I'd have started him tomorrow night instead of Wentz and maybe bring Joey in after Morton. I'd give that to Charlie. At this point, what does it matter?
I wonder if it's only because they want to have the crowd honor him when he comes in to take the place of the guy before him kind of deal, maybe. And now, for the last time ever, here's I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Either way, it's classy. The Braves organization is doing this for Charlie Morton, who's a class act himself.
Yes, he is.
That's right.
Salutes.
Helped us win a World Series just 4 short years ago. The Braves won their 10th game in a row last night, nipping Washington 3-2 as Michael Harris slammed 2 solo homers, including the game winner. Ronald Acuna Jr. also went deep. Unfortunately, too little too late, as the Braves are not going to the postseason for the first time since Michael Harris was beginning his junior year at Stockbridge High in 2017.
Wow. No kidding.
Acuna's blast last night traveled 433 feet to right center, the second longest opposite field home run in the majors this season, trailing only a 436-foot shot by who?
That would be Matt Olson.
No. Matt's not really known for his Oppo tacos.
Huh. Well, I don't know then.
Aaron Judge.
No kidding. Oh, I'm sorry.
Did it against the Red Sox June 8th. Rookie Hurston Waldrop closed out his first season in the majors by stifling the Nationals, allowing just 1 run in 6 innings last night. Overall, Waldrop had a 2.88 earned run average in 10 appearances, including 9 starts. It'll be nice to see him in the rotation all of next year.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
I like it.
Braves will need to sweep Pittsburgh to have a chance of finishing in 3rd place in the National League East, depending on what Miami does. And Matt Olson has joined What Player for what Jay has in the box as the only Braves player in franchise history to have a season with at least 25 homers, 40 doubles, 90 RBIs, and 90 walks.
Andrew Jones. Oh, God. Chipper Jones.
Chipper did it in 1999, his MVP season.
Well, outstanding. Outstanding.
The Tigers have collapsed. On August 25th, they had a 12.5 game lead.
They were taken over.
And last year they had one of the great comebacks of all time, and this year it's one of the great collapses. But there's still time. After blowing a lead last night in Cleveland, the 2 teams are now tied atop the American League Central, yet the Guardians now own the tiebreaker after Detroit ace Tariq Skubal had a meltdown, which included, did you see his throw?
Wow.
A wild throw backwards between his legs, which went over the first baseman's head. A wild pitch, a balk, and he hit David Fry, one of the Guardians players, in the face. Fry had to be carted off the field, taken to the Cleveland Clinic. If you got to be taken to a hospital, that's one of the ones you want to go to.
100 miles an hour, bounced off his bat, if I recall. He turned around to bunt and it went wham right in his face. 100-mile-an-hour pitch. It's like he's alive.
Multiple facial and nasal fractures. Whoa. No surgery needed. Fry is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's pretty much,
And Skubal was pretty screwed up too. I mean, I think he took it pretty hard that he had done that. It looked like he was really very upset by hitting.
You got to wonder because the 2 guys ahead of him had bunted.
Yeah.
And maybe he was a little frustrated, so he wanted to send a message, and he put it a little inside, and Fry stepped right into it.
Well, again, I'm hardly a big leaguer, but I'll bet you as a pitcher too. And as a pitcher, your coach would say, if a guy squares around to bunt, throw it high and tight. Because it's hard to bunt off your fingers,
Okay, well, that's what they used to do in 1955.
That's right.
In the primitive time.
Throw it inside high and make him, put it right on his wrist, right in his fingers, right up toward his face.
Tigers have lost 7 in a row.
Oh, my good.
I bet they're glad you're not pitching.
You think it's arms tired or at the end of the year kind of deal? Or I wonder.
No, he was up 2-0 before he just.
No, I'm talking about the Tiger, about Detroit as a team. Yes. What happened if they're?
It just happens and it starts to snowball and stuff like that. You sound like Sal the Magley.
No, I'm just curious.
Don Drysdale.
Well, that's me. I'm sorry. Again,
Sal the Barber Magley on the mound.
Again, I never just had a ball talking to other players on the ball. If I played another team, I never got to first base, or as a first baseman, I never chatted with them ever. It was always, they were always the enemy.
Getting to first base seems to be a lifelong trouble there.
Yeah, it still is. Thank you. 23 years and counting. I'm sorry.
Falcons host the Commanders Sunday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for you masochists out there.
Well.
Parker Romo still listed as the #1 place kicker on their depth chart.
Okay.
I'd like to attach him to a depth charge and fling him overboard. That's just me.
No, we're
just
turn
kidding.
him around. Yeah.
No guarantee Romo will be kicking this Sunday for the Falcons, though. They can change.
Well, whatever, yeah.
And from our Kamala Harris level delusional file, Falcons OC Zach Robinson was asked about criticism he's getting from fans and media about the predictability of his play calling. Zach responded, and I quote, "We don't feel that way. We don't see that from our opponent," end quote.
Wait a minute.
A lot to unpack here. First, using the royal we is troublesome. Maybe Zach speaking for the entire team or offense. Secondly, I think your opponent is totally seeing the predictability of your play calling.
They keep winning.
Exhibit A, you scored 0 points Sunday. I think they saw you coming out of the tunnel.
They might have had a clue.
A clue. This is a level of predictability not seen since General George S. Patton read Erwin Rommel's book on tank warfare. Rommel, you magnificent bastard, I read your book.
The Pot of Calais or something or other. Oh, my lordy.
Kyle Pitts in his toe, James Pierce Jr. in a groin, and Casey Washington concussion limited in practice today up there in Flowery Branch, South Carolina. Just kidding. It just feels like
damn near South Carolina.
Yeah. Alabama linebacker John Marion Latham is being evaluated at a hospital in Birmingham after suffering a neck injury in practice yesterday. The 6-year senior has already missed 2 games this season due to another injury. And Bama, of course, visiting Georgia Saturday night. That's a huge game.
That's going to be a fun game.
That's right. In fact, LSU at Ole Miss at 2:30, which
That's
makes
right.
3:30 makes no sense. You got Oregon and Penn State going at it, and a few others. It's going to be a great
Is
Saturday.
Oregon still number 1?
Yeah, well, I think Ohio State's number 1 in the AP. Oregon's number 1 in ESPN FPI.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the coaches are doing. This may come as a shock, but the Big 12 Conference has added South Carolina, Florida State, and Boise State, robbing both the SEC, the ACC, and the Mountain West. This just coming down.
Idaho?
I mean,
Idaho? Boise State? Boise's Idaho.
Yeah. But they're Boise State. They're different than Idaho. And
No, I know, but still, from the state of Idaho, and then, what are they doing? It's like
South Carolina
gerrymandering.
and FSU. So now the Gamecocks, Seminoles, and Broncos will play in the Big 12.
Well, wait a minute.
In volleyball. They're affiliate members now of the Big 12.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Had you there for a second there. All right. On this day in sports history, September 24th, 1939. Let me take you there.
All right, so please do.
Boston Bees outfitter Johnny Cooney hit his first home run in 15 years.
Whoa.
What do you think he did the very next day?
Quit. Retired.
He hit another one.
Oh, my God. 15 years and he hit 2 back-to-back?
2 back-to-back.
Wow.
1968. Hank and Tommy Aaron pull off a double steal for the Braves. I got Tommy's baseball card, too.
Do you?
The two combined for 7 hits, a 7-3 win over the Mets. New York manager Gil Hodges suffers a minor heart attack. It's minor because it happened to someone else.
Yeah.
During the game, hospitalized. He would die 4 years later from a bigger one.
Yeah.
Rube Walker is the manager of the Mets for the remainder of that season. Of course, Hodges returns and they win the World Series the next year. 1983, Dale Murphy becomes just the 6th player in Major League history to join the 30-30 club when he walks, steals second, and then scores the winning run on Rafael Ramirez's single in a 3-2 win over the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
1933, in his last big league at-bat, Joe Sewell ended his 14-year career. He singled in the decisive run as a pinch hitter. The Yankees win over the Red Sox at Fenway. The infielder ended his 14-year career, spent mainly with the Indians, striking out only 114 times and 8,332 plate appearances.
Wow.
That's a 1.4%.
That's got to be up in the top 5 of people who don't strike out much list.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. 1942, the final game of his 20th and last full season. 41-year-old Ted Lyons, known as Sunday Teddy, beat the Indians going the distance in the White Sox victory at Cleveland's League Park. Although exempt from the draft, he enlists in the U.S. Marine Corps after the season and fights in the Pacific during World War II. He was 41 years old when he joined.
God bless America. I guarantee you he never forgot what he saw. 1934, on this day, Babe Ruth made his farewell appearance as a player with the New York Yankees, a game against the Red Sox, which won the game 5-0.
Hey, how many people do you think were at that game?
1934 Babe Ruth farewell appearance, probably 80,000.
Higher.
Oh, really?
Kidding.
I was joking.
Not kidding. There was not 80,000.
I was going to say 72,000.
Lower.
61,400.
Lower. Oh, more
25 people. 25 people, probably.
1,500 people showed up.
Holy cow. 1934?
1,500 showed up.
Well, the end of the Depression, still bad times, but still, I mean.
But to not even
his last appearance as a Yankee?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, 1934. And one more. Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson wins the 1988 100-meter dash at the Olympics in Seoul, then disqualified 3 days later because he was using steroids. And remember the scene of his muscles bulging out of his shoulder when he was crossing the finish line? And they said, oh, my God, that's got to be steroids.
You know, it's interesting. Babe Ruth was almost a Philadelphia A. And
really?
Connie Mack wouldn't pay the money to get him. Can you imagine?
Wow.
There have been no New York Yankees the way we think, Ruth and Gehrig. We'd be talking about Ruth and Fox, Jimmy Fox on the same team.
Yeah. Holy cow, that was it. Cool, at 5:31, Pete Davis, Kimmer, Pete and Flounder, and it's Hump Day. And what do you think? We got so much more coming up here next, too. Look out.
Extra XTRA 106.3 is Atlanta's home for NASCAR, and we have live races every weekend from across the country. Check out XTRA106.3.com for the full schedule and join us this weekend for live NASCAR action.
Peach State Windows will give you a free safety deck check. And if you're looking for windows, of course, Peach State Windows, it's in the name, and they're vinyl, double hung, energy efficient, and all that stuff. And I've known Jeff. I worked with him 25 years ago, Jeff and his wife and so forth. And these are contractors and builder people. They have the greatest supplies. Whatever you need for the outside of your house, they specialize in windows and siding. Hardy Plank's my favorite, but whatever your house needs, whether it's new or old or whatever, and they have the suppliers to make sure everything fits. You look them up, tell them the Kimmer sent you. PeachStateWindows.com.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Ventrac. When it comes to tackling every job on your property, you need a true all-star, Ventrac. This machine runs the full playbook with over 30 game-changing attachments. That includes mowing, leaf cleanup, trenching, edging, brush cutting, and so many more. No matter the season, no matter the challenge, Ventrac is ready to win. Find these incredible machines at Howard Brothers or head to howardbrothers.com and reach out to their experienced Ventrac team today. Howard Brothers, serving you since 1955.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Looking for the perfect car, truck, or SUV? Jim Ellis Buick GMC has you covered. With a huge selection of new and used vehicles, finding the right fit is easy.
Whether it's a Buick Enclave or Envision, a GMC Acadia or Yukon, or the power of the Sierra and Canyon trucks, and the best part, you're never alone in the process.
Their expert sales team helps match you with the right vehicle, while their finance specialists make buying simple and stress-free.
With decades of experience, Jim Ellis Buick GMC understands the importance of offering an expansive inventory that fits every driving performance, style, and budget need. Plus, every new Buick and GMC comes with cutting-edge technology, premium comfort, and advanced safety features so you can drive with confidence.
Already a Buick or GMC owner? Well, keep it running like new with their state-of-the-art service center staffed by factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. Start your search at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person in Chamblee off Peachtree Boulevard, inside the Perimeter, or in Beaufort off Highway 20 near 985. Jim Ellis, Buick GMC, we are professional grade.
Here today with Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan. And Evan, we're told to enjoy retirement, but frugal investors often worry about overspending and running out of money. So when it comes to your clients, how can you help ease some of those worries?
Well, it starts with income planning. And, here's one of the most common mistakes. It's almost every single person when we first meet with them, they have no income plan. Mm-hmm. They have a thought, they have a hope, they have hey, if we make enough money, we'll be able, hopefully, to make this money last, but there's no plan. And so we build comprehensive income plan that we know this is how we're exactly going to pay your bills in retirement, and more so because, look, retiring isn't about, well, I've got enough to survive. It's about enjoying life. You didn't work 30, 40 years of your life to get by in retirement. You did it to enjoy the things that you've always wanted to do. And so we're going to build a second component that covers that quality of life, that every month, every year, regardless of what's happening with the market, regardless of what's happening in your life, this money's coming in like clockwork, and you never have to worry about it. You never have to stress about it. You're going to be able to keep the lights on and enjoy the kind of lifestyle that you're looking for.
The name of the show is North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan. And Evan, you say it all the time on the show, a play is not a plan. You've got to have that comprehensive game plan when it comes to your retirement.
You've got to. It's the only way to, one, make sure it's going to work, and two, make sure it's going to work efficiently.
If you'd like to schedule that complimentary retirement income review, call Evan Ward and his team with Atlas Retirement. That number is 678-736-7799. Again, it's 678-736-7799. Or you can always reach them at the website. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Tug and Los are live every weekday morning from 6 to 10 a.m. on the Morning Extra.
We are like the only local conservative station in the entire Southeast. We're one of the only ones that actually gives you original programming. We are a target. This is how you beat these people, by bringing sunlight. It's the best disinfectant. You bring up what is actually going on.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
There we go, 5:37. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And finest James Hendricks arrived in London with his manager on a flight from New York City on this day in 1966. James Hendricks was wearing the clothes on his back, and that was the only thing he brought with him on the plane. James Hendricks sold everything he owned to pay his hotel bill in New York. He had nothing but his clothes he was wearing. One of the first things he did after arriving in England was to legally change his name from James to J-I-M-I. Jimi Hendrix, 1966. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Birthday list includes a sports birthday here. Pete Davis, Mean Joe Green. Pittsburgh Steelers legend, football player, 79 years old. Mean Joe Green, and of course the famous commercial, that little boy, "Hey, Mean Joe, you can know it's okay, you can have it." Gives him his coat, throws him his Coke, and Mean Joe Green sucks it down in one big wampity bompity. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. That ad was in 1979. Yeah. If he had done that in 1958 or 1962 or something like that, that fizz would have come blowing out his nose. There's no way that new Coke in 1979 or whatever, they changed the formula in the old days, that wouldn't have been the same.
Remember, they didn't change new Coke until 1984.
Well, it was different. Anyway, Mean Joe Green is 79.
And he didn't throw a Coke out. He threw his jersey at the kid.
Well, the kid.
The kid gave him his Coke.
Right, yeah. But he said, that's okay.
If he threw the Coke at him, it would explode.
No. I said Mean Joe. I never mentioned the Mean Joe throwing the jersey. All I said was the kid threw the Coke. And again, he said, it's okay, you can have it. Which I thought was pretty cute, You don't want your stupid Coke. Anyway, what's the matter with you, kid? Get out of here, you bother me. On this day in 1948, Mildred Gillers pleads innocent to charges of treason. Mildred Gillers was an Ohio woman who had been living in Germany in the 40s, and she was an American who could speak English, so the Germans hired her to do some radio disc jockey broadcasting, and Mildred Gillers soon became known as Axis Sally. She was doing propaganda for the Germans. She used to live in Ohio. She lived in Germany for 5 years, and the state radio hired her to work as a disc jockey, then became the propagandist. Her lover, Max Otto Kruschwitzke, protected her. She would say cruel, horrible things, taunting the American GIs. Your wives and girlfriends are cheating on you back home, and all the horrible deaths around you, the men you're going to meet on the battlefield. She talked about how much she hates Jews and Roosevelt and Winston Churchill. I say, damn Roosevelt and Churchill and the Jews who made it possible. And then when they caught her, she tried to pretend she was an orphan and a refugee, but they caught her by American soldiers, recognized her. She admitted everything she did in trial and said, I was just a paid performer and I'm not a traitor, and she claimed she was still patriotic. They convicted her, sentenced her to 30 years, but she got paroled in like 10, converted to Catholicism in prison, went on to live at a convent in Ohio, and taught music to the nuns. Axis Sally died in 1988 at the age of 87. Anyway, there, Axis Sally. All right, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 541. If you want to join us, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And Dirty Run, we talked about the ice. If you haven't, in fact, let's play J.D. Vance again here, Flounder, if you don't mind. If you just got to work and haven't heard, A liberal spurned by Democrats in America and mainstream media has murdered people at an ICE facility in Dallas and then killed himself. He was a sniper on a roof, and he started shooting up the facility and a van at the ICE facility. He left behind bullets that were complaining about ICE. There were anti-ICE comments spurned on by Democrat and mayors and governors of the Democrats all over this country to fight back and not let the ICE agents do anything, calling them Nazis and everything else. So this guy started shooting just indiscriminately, and tragically and ironically, the people he killed were not ICE agents. The people he killed were immigrants. So there you go. Just shooting, they're killing us. They're arming themselves and killing the people they don't agree with, who say things they don't like, from verbs and talking to killing. That's what the Democrats have done. Now, as you heard Senator Ted Cruz say the obvious thing, stop, you Democrats, politicians who are calling all this stuff about the Nazis and the ICE, stop doing it. So far, not only have they not stopped, no one's apologized. And Vice President J.D. Vance, I'll tell you, the more I hear him and Marco Rubio, the more excited I am about the future. I think America's going to really stand behind, finally, a Republican who's got some balls and politically willing to use them and say something. Here's J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, about this dirtbag and all you liberal Democrats out there right now. J.D. Vance, number 5 here.
Because here's what happens when Democrats, like Gavin Newsom did, say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
You can go straight to hell. I love it. I mean, seriously, these people are violent. They're promoting violence. Remember, Governor J.B. Fatsker from Illinois actually said things like, we need to take to the streets. We need to fight back. We need to stop these ICE agents and stop these conservatives from ruining America. Taking Nazi dictatorships by Donald Trump. Once again, they're doing it. And this is the result of it. And not one of them.
Everybody this guy followed. Everything he read or watched, and who radicalized this dude?
Well, again, I would assume that the FBI, since this is a federal facility, the FBI is going to be all over this, and Kash Patel is going to get to the bottom of this stuff. And by the way, just a quick thing again, I said this last hour, but it's worth doing again. I'll just, a quick edit here. Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, said comparing ICE day in and day out to the Nazi Gestapo and secret police and slave patrols has consequences. These men and women are fathers and mothers, sons and daughters. They get up every morning to try to make our communities safer. Like everyone else, they just want to go home to their families at night. Texas officials, despicable assault on law and order. The leftist political violence must end. Democrats have fostered an environment of evil. And again, Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage just had the balls to come out and say, well, we need to stop the violence on both sides. Well, we can't have all this violence on both sides. Oh, please. Republicans didn't show their violence after the George Floyd thing. They didn't show the violence after the guy shot the CEO of the healthcare company. We didn't show the political violence like you did when Charlie Kirk got killed. We didn't even show it when Donald Trump got shot in the face and almost got shot twice. What did Republicans do? We prayed. I mean, my God, man. Anyway, these dirty, rotten slime. I mean, seriously, it's despicable. It really is shameful. And speaking of shameful, we'll a little break here coming up, but then we'll talk about Jimmy Kimmel supposedly choking up. What my ass. They probably gave him an onion to keep in his pocket for when he needed it to pretend to sniffle. What a scuzzbag. We'll talk about that coming up here, too. Oh, Lordy. We're not done yet. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? Look out. Here we go.
Start your day with Tug and Los on the Morning Extra from 6 to 10. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck at noon, and the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. And hang out every night for Jesse Kelly at 6 and Jimmy Fela at 9. And stream it all live in crystal clear HD on the Extra 106.3 app.
This fall, the gridiron calls, which means you'll be road tripping to games across the South, and you'll need a reliable ride to get you there. And Subaru of Gwinnett has the vehicle for you. But a new car, truck, or SUV from Subaru of Gwinnett is about way more than just getting to the games. It's about getting the family home. It's about getting to work safely, but it's also about getting the most out of every adventure. If you're driven by an adventurous heart, the 2025 Subaru Outback shares your spirit with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Or maybe it's the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. It holds the road with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, and it holds everything you need for the tailgate. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and let your adventurous mind run wild. Then stop in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
Football season is back on Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use my code ROAM and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
It was nearly 2 years ago that terrorists murdered more than 1,200 innocent Israelis and took 250 hostages. Today, it seems as if the cries of the dead and the dying have been drowned out with the shouts of anti-Semitic hatred. And the most brutal attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust is slowly being relegated to the dustbin of history, and yet it is still going on. We have to promise each other never to forget. As the world looks away, a light shines in the darkness. It's a movement of love and support of the people of Israel called the Flags of Fellowship, and it is organized by the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. And on October 5th, just a few weeks away, millions across America will prayerfully plant an Israeli flag in honor and solidarity with the victims of October 7th, 2023, and their grieving families. And now you can be part of this movement as well. Get information about how you can join Flags of Fellowship, the movement, now at the Fellowship online at ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
Here we go. Da-dum-ba-ba-dum-bum. That's rock, baby. Elvis Presley. 1957, Elvis classic Jailhouse Rock was released. It became his 9th #1 single, stayed on the Billboard chart for 19 weeks. The film clip from the movie where he sang the song is considered by many historians to really be the first rock video. And again, the issue of him shaking those hips and stuff, and Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley, what a time. Our birthday list includes a kid named Ben Platt, is 32. He was Evan in Dear Evan Hansen, don't know what that is. He was also Benji in the Pitch Perfect movies with a little skinny girl who was in The Accountant with Ben Affleck. Birthday, Stephanie McMahon is 49 today, former WWE wrestler who married Triple H, and she's Vince McMahon's daughter. Stephanie is 49. years old today. And a couple of little things in history. On this day in 1977, The Love Boat premiered on ABC. Same day in 2007, The Big Bang Theory premiered CBS. And in 2010, same day, Blue Bloods on CBS. So this is a big day for fall programming that all changed back in when they used to do that kind of thing. And in honor of our buddy Alan, who called in, the former Navy aviator, on this day in history, it was the first so-called blind airplane flight in 1929. Jimmy Doolittle, yes, that Jimmy Doolittle, takes off and lands using only instruments and not his own eyesight. 1929. That'd be funny. And one more thing. The Sci-Fi Channel debuts on this day in 1992. The Sci-Fi Channel, its first show was Star Wars. There you go. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 552. That dirty, rotten liar Jimmy Kimmel came on last night, and you'll never hear me play his bits again, and I'll never play a Carmela side piece unless it's something really newsy we have to play, because she was a disgrace. She was all over last night on TV, blaming everybody but herself and trying to pretend like everybody cares what she says. I mean, we're a freaking disgrace. And Jimmy Kimmel came out, standing ovation and chants of Jimmy, and he made jokes and stuff like that. He never apologized for the Charlie Kirk stuff that got him suspended. And then he says two things. He said, "It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man, nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions." That's exactly what he did on purpose. That's the only goal he had, and he did it. Mm-hmm. And then he supposedly teared up while he was praising Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, which is just a bunch of crap. They gave him standing ovation. I mean, this is just makes me sick. What a dirty, rotten liar.
It's two countries and two realities going on right now.
I mean, it's really disgusting. You would think that anybody with decency who has seen what's happening here would say, hold on, wait a minute here. And instead they're saying, well, both sides have to stop all this violence. That's not it. That's not the reaction that should be normal. That everybody has to stop what we're doing. They don't mean that. I mean, it's just, there's no words for it. I don't understand. I don't get it.
It's like Hamas starting a war and immediately calling for a ceasefire before Israel can strike back.
Yeah. And by the way, here we go again with that whole business in the Middle East. And now they're still complaining about Donald Trump, and the United Nations hasn't done squat. And it's just, I mean, these freaking people. And it's the Democrats who are doing it. And all these politicians, they're to blame for it. And the media's to blame, MSNBC and CNN and all these people, the Nazi ICE workers. Crocodile tears, Jimmy Kimmel. What a freaking phony. Hard to believe how gleefully he was gorging on the career entrails of conservatives like Tucker Carlson and Roseanne, who got fired and doxxed and everything else. He's a partisan political activist, not a comedic host. On and on and on. Instead of an apology. I mean, it's just really disgusting and distressing. In fact, I'll tell you what, the other sound you're not going to hear is Carmela's side piece. And Flounder, let's do cut number one. Scott Besson here. I mean, this is really amazing. Scott Besson. The other day, Marco Rubio yesterday took George Skankanopoulos to the woodshed for trying to pretend that America caused people to die because we cut down the graft, the slush fund of the U.S. aid program. Well, now Scott Besson, who is the Treasury Secretary, is talking about why she talked to Maria Bartiromo, who was asking about the whole thing with Carmela, now saying she didn't pick her little gay buddy Fudgy Fudge to be on her running team because he was too much of a little snotty little gay guy. And here's Scott Besson putting them both in their place. Cut one, Flounder.
She wouldn't take on Pete Buttigieg because he was gay, because she said it was a risk to have a running mate who was a gay man. Your reaction?
Three things, Maria. First, it shows her emphasis on identity politics, and the American people have moved on. Two, it shows how low regard she holds the American people. That she was just a terrible candidate. And three, you wouldn't pick Pete Buttigieg because he might have been the worst transportation secretary in history. Like, if I thought I was left a mess at Treasury, I can tell you, your friend, my friend, Sean Duffy, our great transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg left him a mess. The FAA is a disaster. The Amtrak, anything to do with transportation was woefully neglected over the past 4 years. So, she judges him on his identity, his sexuality. let's look and see whether he did a good job. Let's look on merit, and I can tell you, on merit, he's a failure, and on merit, she's a failure.
556. I mean, no kidding. And then you see her, if you've seen her on TV last night when she made all the rounds and stuff, I mean, she looks as though she really thinks she should be taken seriously. The woman's a disgrace. I mean,
well, she's going to Babylon Beach. She's going on a book tour to show why America voted for Donald Trump.
Sure, exactly. Good grief. 556. Oh, by the way, ladies, do you have a problem with boob sweat? Have you heard about this story? Apparently now, passengers on cruise ships, including one aboard the Independence of the Seas cruise, has had a whole problem because when you go on a cruise, they now give the women their Sea Pass cards, and they don't put a lanyard on. It's just a plastic card, so the women are putting it in their bras. And every time they have to go to a place to show their ID or get a pass, they take this card out of their bras and hand it to the people. And now some people are saying, now, wait a minute, I don't want to touch your boob sweat. And you're going in line on buffets and stuff, and nobody washes their hands after doing things, so you're going through it. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It's called boob glistening.
Boob glistening. Well, see, that was totally misinformed.
Women don't sweat.
No, they don't. They glisten. The magnificent glistening. Guys, this is frankly disgusting for the crew members, and everybody else has to touch their drink glasses. Hey, buy a lanyard, lady. And people say, hey, it's just skin like everything else. Oh, my God. These people can't stop. And by the way, did you hear about the guy, a foster dad on the cruise with his wife and 8 kids, and when the cruise got done at Port Miami, the Carnival Cruise said, we want to look at your phone and stuff and your laptop for some reason. He said, sure. And they found pornography of children for a foster parent with a father of 8. I didn't know cruise companies say we want to look at your phone and your laptop when you get off our cruise. No, he gave them the pass card to a Samsung Galaxy, and they found suspected child sexual abuse stuff in his folder. I didn't know they did that. On a cruise, they asked to see your stuff, and he said, okay.
Sorry, that's not going to happen.
I mean, please, I didn't know they did that.
I got nothing on my phone, but I tossed it in the ocean before I gave it.
He was picked for a random secondary screening at the end of the Carnival Cruise in the Cayman Islands. He said, sure, and they found child porn.
That's got to be a government Cayman Island thing.
I suppose. Would you say yes to a search of your...
No.
I don't think so. Anyway,
I tossed it in the ocean.
Yeah, flounder, a little fly last well, flounder's funnier.
I like being a dad. It's fun. My wife's a good mom. She's too supportive, though. I feel like moms are too supportive in general. My mom still believes in me, which is crazy right now. My mom still thinks I'm good at math from a test I took in, like, 3rd grade. I was looking for a new job recently. My mom's like, you should get a math job. You're so good at math, remember? I was like, that was before fractions, Mom. Fractions mess me up. My wife's doing the same thing right now with our son. My son knows like 10 words, and she acts like he knows full sentences. It's so annoying. Like the other day he came up to us, he was like, da-do, da-ba, da-ba, da. And my wife goes, get the camera. He's reciting scripture. I was like, what verse was that?
Who's that, Flounder?
That is Mr. James Mason. I played him yesterday.
Sing me home, Christine. I got to go and kill me. Boys, tomorrow we do it. We'll be back. Careful out there. Look out.
Streaming across Georgia on the XTRA 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. XTRA 106.3.